Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Wellington, Kansas, a roaming party throughout the town ends up in tragedy as some people end up hungover, but one ends up without a head. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another crazy, God, they get crazier every week, edition of Small Town Murder. That's what we have, Small Town Murder Express. This one should be called My God, It Gets Crazier Every Week, Small Town Murder. It's a long name to search for, but might help. Thank you so much.
Keywords.
It's a lot. That might be good. You're casting a wide net. So thank you very, very much. Thank you for all you've done for us. Whatever you're listening on, give us 5 stars. It does help out a lot like that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything crime and sports and small town murder related.
Yeah.
And if you haven't listened to Crime and Sports, you're missing out. Go check out Crime and Sports. We promise you it's very funny and you don't have to like sports. There.
It's crusty.
You should trust us by now. Go check it out. Yeah, find out all about crustiness. So check all that out. And also get your tickets to live shows because they are on there. Next up is New Orleans in July. Get your tickets right now to that. Some tickets there. I know Atlanta's sold out, but keep checking back because people can return their tickets. So you never know. A couple might pop up, but definitely New Orleans. Go there.
We're
and
coming
see
to
us.
your swamp.
Yeah, we're coming to New Orleans in July. Please show up. That's what we're saying. It's going to be hot and unpleasant for us as well, so let's all share in it. We'll all stink together. Let's do it. We're all going to be humid and stinky together. It's going to be a lot of fun, so check that out. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of your bonus materials. Of course, you get Small Town Murder Express every Friday for free. Everybody in the world gets that if you want it. Not everybody in the world isn't listening to it, but it's available.
They all have the opportunity.
But this you'll only get if you go to patreon.com/crime and sports. Anybody $5 or above gets access to all the bonus material, everything for crime and sports and small town murder. This week you're going to get, oh boy, these are fun. We have, first of all, for crime and sports, you definitely don't have to be a sports fan for this. A Major League Baseball pitcher pitches a perfect game just tripping balls on acid. You don't need that's just fun. You don't have to like sports. It's a good time. We'll talk all about that. And that was in the 70s, too. So picture like a big afro sticking out of his hat and everything. Like that's more. It makes it way more fun. And then for Small Town Murder, we are going to talk about what comes out of John Wayne Gacy's mouth, basically. Here.
Boy, is it a lot.
We're going to talk a bit about Conversations with a Killer, the John Wayne Gacy tapes, the documentary, and then also a bunch more that he said in much more detail from his lawyer's book. So stuff he told his lawyer directly, and wow, is it cuckoo bananas. We'll talk about all of that. Patreon.com/crime and sports, and you will get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmy will mispronounce your name while concentrating hard to get it correct. So that said, time hyper-focused. Time for the disclaimer. It's a comedy show. It's what it is. The stories are real, 100%. Dateline couldn't be more real than, whatever documentarian investigation discovery couldn't be more real. Everything is by the book. The only thing is, they're crazy stories, so jokes have to be made. They have to. It would be weird not to. You know what I mean? Inside, you're thinking it. But what we do not do, what we go out of our way not to do, is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families ever.
Why is that?
Because we're assholes.
But
we're not scumbags. That's how that works. So,
deal.
I mean, good God, let's be real here. So if that sounds good to you, we are going to have one hell of a weird time. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together, I don't know. Maybe the show's not for you. Either way, you've been warned, but so no complaining later, but I think you might like it. Either way, if you don't, I don't know. Have a good one. I don't really care. The unsubscribe button's there. It's easy to do, but for everybody else who wants to have a good time and hear some crazy, crazy stuff, I think it's time to clear the lungs here, wherever you are, in your car, with the windows closed or open, middle of your office, everywhere but probably an airplane or a school would probably be good for this. Sit back and shout, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Well, I could use it.
Yeah, let's take back off again here. We are headed, headed to the flatlands. If you're not from the United States, this is one of the square states or rectangles in the very center of the country here that you go, what goes on there? Not much is the answer. We're going to Wellington, Kansas.
Oh, they tried to highfalutin this place.
Absolutely. So Kansas,
Wellington.
Again, if you're not from the United States, that would be where Dorothy is from in The Wizard of Oz. So that's, there you go. She wanted to flee even to a strange world. Just get out of here. So
tried to make this a flat something in England. Is that what that's about? The Wellington shit?
We'll find out. Yeah, it's definitely named after an English source here. Don't worry. It's named after the beef dish is what it's named after. That's not the actual namesake of the beef dish, but just the beef dish. No. It's in south central Kansas, about 40 minutes to Wichita, and 2.5 hours to Topeka. So, I mean, this is... When you're thinking, well, how far are we from Topeka? You're in the middle of nowhere. That's what that means.
And you're looking forward to stop in Topeka.
Well, we're going to have to stop there. Maybe they'll have restaurants.
3 fucking hours.
We can pee in Topeka, kids. Shut up. You turned down my Gatorade bottle. I don't want to hear you bitching. So it's about 4.5 hours to Oakley, Kansas, which was our last Kansas episode 221, way back there, over 50 episodes ago. That episode was called Hitchhikers, Drifters, and Necrophiliacs. So maybe revisit that one because that sounds insane and fun.
Gross.
And gross. This is in Sumner County, area code 620, so much like Arizona, 602, but this is 620. Right. Motto here, wheat capital of the world.
Is that right?
Wheat capital. Wheat. Wheat. Not the weed capital. Wheat capital of the world.
That sounds boring.
That's right. Or this is where all your allergies come from here. Everyone out there is gluten intolerant or whatever the shit. We're making it all here.
This is who did it. Yeah.
So the history of this town.
Their other motto is "fuck Ukraine" because that's, I guess, their competitor. Yeah, isn't that what
I suppose
Ukraine makes a bunch of wheat, right?
A lot of they don't make it really; they grow it, but a lot of people, produce the grains. We want wheat. We can't. I'm sorry. It won't work in the dish.
Faster.
It just is nothing's happening. We don't know what to do. We have dirt outside, plenty of it. I don't want to hear dirt. Screaming. I don't know. I have no other ideas. So no, this place here. It was platted in 1871, named after the Duke of Wellington.
Really?
What possible relation could the Duke of Wellington have to the middle of nowhere, Kansas? I'd love to know that.
What an honor.
Why would he care about that, and why would they care about him? It goes both ways, you know?
Some flat shit with wheat growing in it is what an honor.
No shit. It was designated the Sumner County seat in 1872. As we know, I'm sure someone died over that. There was people burned each other out or something. Cattle herders would come up the Chisholm Trail, and that helped build the early town's economy. Cattle herders coming up here. In 1892, now the town's only been up for 20 years, all right?
Yeah.
But it's going well. There's 12,000 people here at this point in time.
Sure.
It's steadily growing. There's... they have like a big town going on here, a big town. And they don't know because at the time they couldn't measure, but from the damage it did, they've estimated an F4 tornado came through at that point.
My.
That's not a new phenomenon. It's not like, tornadoes didn't start coming when people filled the place up. They were always there.
It's literally the plot of the movie. That's it. Main plot.
There they are, my friend. This destroyed 100 homes, a shitload of businesses, killed 12 townspeople.
Wow.
Did extensive damage to a 26 block area. So decimated the whole town, basically.
Jesus.
Ripped it apart. A bunch of people were hurt as well. And the tornado completely stopped any growth momentum that it had. Everyone was like, that was terrifying. What the hell are we doing here? And then
Did y'all see that? I saw it.
Yeah. They fled back east, scared shitless, or there's an ocean that way, too, and they just kept going because that was frightening. Also, whoever was left over, if there wasn't enough reason to leave, a few years later, a huge fire destroyed pretty much the rest of the town. So,
oh my God.
And then it burned down. I would say,
somebody's communicating something to you guys.
I don't think we should live here. What do you think, everybody? I think something's gone awry. There, apparently, it's so funny. If you look this town up on Wikipedia, they always have like famous people that were like born here or lived there for 20 years. The only incident of a famous person here is David Carradine, the actor, lived in Wellington for about a year in the 80s while filming a movie called Americana that I've never heard of, so it doesn't seem like it's worth it.
How many times did he choke himself and jerk off here?
Oh, my God. Him and his brother was here, too. Maybe he had his brother do it for him. That's how I saved his life for a couple of years. Him, his brother, and Grizzly Adams all hung out in town together for a year. What a weird... The guy
That's
who played,
bizarre.
Yeah, a strange thing. Reviews of this town, my favorite part, obviously. I love people's just fucking mediocre little gripes that they have about something. It's so funny. This is my particular issue, so fuck this town. I'm always like, yes, I agree, sir.
David Carradine's jizz is still all over the place.
It's everywhere. And they make it that's a landmark? No. 4 stars. Safety is not an issue. Okay. You have to be smart, but our community is safe and watches out for one another.
What the fuck does that mean?
Have to be smart. Sounds like there's there's sinkholes everywhere. You got to look where you're going, but well, let's find out.
Keep on your toes.
Maybe more people will make it clearer. We'll find out here. Yeah. 3 stars. Wellington is a great community for someone who's looking for a quiet, reserved life in a small town. The town's population is dominated mainly by elderly and middle-aged people. If you are younger, Wellington is most likely not the place for you. I've had about the average experience living as a teenager in this town. There's not much to do in the summer except go to the pool unless you go to a surrounding town. The town has a bit of an issue with druggies who will just roam the streets. I pictured Night of the Living Dead, just arms out.
I see that American Horror Story vampire druggie.
That's fine too. But either way, just going dope, like 50s dope fiends, dope.
Shaking their head really, really fast.
This is amazing, though. A bit of an issue with druggies who will just roam the streets, but they're typically not dangerous unless bothered.
No.
You say that about a woodland animal. They're not dangerous unless bothered. That's what they say about javelina in Arizona.
Yeah.
They're not dangerous unless bothered. It's the same thing.
It's a rattlesnake. It'll push on. It's scared too.
That's amazing. The crime rate is low. We'll tell you about that. Chief, slow down here. You don't know what you're talking about. Only a few incidents here and there. There's a rec center that offers great services for children in the summer. The town is very slow moving. Overall, if I were to move away from this area, I would only move back if I was retiring.
Okay.
There you go. Now, these are all short and hilarious. 3 stars. The only thing we can really do is fish. There isn't a whole lot of other outdoor activities that you can do here. Mm-hmm. That's it. 2 stars. Quote, I do not like this town.
Like you.
That's a headline. I mean, you're not burying the lead. I do not like this town. Let me tell you why.
Let's hear it.
I do not like this town. I can't wait to move. There isn't much to do here. I think the next one's going to rhyme with move, I think. Right?
Unless it's a haiku.
I was just going to say, it could be a haiku. We don't know. We'll find out. There is a small...
On the edge of my seat.
There is a small selection of jobs here, and it is hard to get a job. That sounds like the way you'd write a haiku to make sure the syllables line up. Like, weird.
Yeah.
2 stars. Here we go. Winter storms can cause ice issues. Spring storms bring tornadoes, and summer is usually drought. Thanks. I appreciate you giving us the general overview of the weather. Ice in the winter, hot in the summer, tornadoes in the spring. That's Kansas. Thanks. We got that.
That's also all the states of water in those seasons. We know.
We understand. These are great here coming up. 1 star. This place is the worst of the worst.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Full of druggies or people who are out to scam you. Stay away if you can.
Scam you?
Scam you. They're going to scam you. Stay away if you can. They've had a particular experience, I feel like. Sure They've been scammed by
they got their shoes shined on a street corner at 2 a.m. and it was just Vaseline.
The aluminum siding guy fucked them over and told them it was like free if they were a model home, but then he had to pay for shipping and handling. It was a whole deal. Scammers! 1 star, quote, worse than terrible. This is great. Quote,
these people are fantastic.
Good place to be if you are homeless because you will feel right at home here. What?
What does that mean?
I don't want to be homeless anywhere where there's tornadoes, first of all. I don't want to be just sucked into the atmosphere while I'm sleeping. I didn't even know it was coming because I don't have a TV to tell me about it or anything. I don't want that happening. Okay. Quote, there is nothing to do here, and everyone knows there is nothing to do. You will think you are living in a nightmare. Wow. Where did the town touch you? Where did Wellington touch you, sir? Jesus Christ. Anyway, population of this town, 7,550 people. So way less than there was when the first tornado came through and drove everybody out. Few more females than males, about normal. Median age is right about the national average here, 38. It is. There are way more old people. The kid wasn't lying about that. More elderly people. There more people over 75, basically over that. 85 over is a lot. It's high. People in this town married is just about the national average. It's 53%, so close to that. Race of this town, 83.1% white. 1.9% black, 0.3% Asian.
Oh,
that is like one family restaurant, and they're
incredibly low.
That's it. What else do we have here? Yeah, 9.5% Hispanic. Religion, it's very religious here, though. 61.2% are religious, which is higher than the 50-50, and it's spread around pretty equal. Other Christian faith, you got Catholics, some Baptists, Methodists are everywhere. It's
all Jesus.
It's all mixed in there. You know what it isn't, though, is Jewish. 0.0% Jewish. It's one thing it certainly isn't. You got that. The county, Sumner County, last presidential election, pretty conservative here. 24% voted Democrat, 74% Republican, 2.1% independent. The median household income here is a little lower than the national average. It's usually about $54,000 right now. Here it's $43,500 for the median household income. Cost of living is low, though. That's the thing. 100 is average, regular. Here it's a 73. Housing, though, is a 28 out of 100.
Oh.
Median home cost here, Jimmy, $67,600. That's ridiculous. That's most trucks cost more than that. Most like a new Dodge Ram will cost you more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Way more.
That is crazy. Not that it should cost that much, but a house should cost more than a car is what we're getting at.
I mean, the new like diesel 1-ton single tires are like $90,000.
That's crazy, Jesus Christ! So if we've convinced you, damn it, you know what? You're going to move to a nice, sturdy building, and you like laying in bathtubs for long periods of time and going in storm cellars and shit like that. We have for you the Wellington, Kansas Real Estate Report. All right, your average 2-bedroom rental here is $695, which is half the national average, pretty much. That's crazy. Here is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,300 or 1.5 bath, 1,309 square foot house. So here's kind of your kind of average starter family home. You got a couple of kids. It's this particular one's kind of a shitbox, but the size and everything. It's a ranch house. There's some rooms that look like possibly some hoarding has happened in there.
Really?
Yeah, maybe A&E has been through there once in a while. There is a washing room in the living room, or a washing machine in the living room.
What?
I don't know if that's just I don't feel like going any further than that or what. And
Turn the game up. Spin cycle started.
Come on, I can't hear shit. I feel like it's been there a while, though, because there's a box of Special K cereal on it, and I haven't seen that in a while. When's the last time you saw boxes? They sell that anymore? Is that around still?
I'm more worried about James. That water's got to come out of the washer. How do you get water? They got water and sewer hookups in the living room?
I guess. I mean, maybe they just...
How do you do
it? Or not. We don't know. Or it's just
comes
a table.
In and out the window.
It's just, or they're just using it as a table. We don't know.
To hold the Special K.
Yeah, that's it. We need somewhere for the damn cereal. 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,151 square foot house. This is nice. It's a nice house.
How much was that other house? We didn't.
I'm sorry, $59,000. $59,000 for that dump. So it's. I guess if you want to remodel it, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,151 square foot. It's a lot of wood. There's a lot of attention to detail inside. Carved wood, shit like that. It's nice. It's like a Tudor style house. Not bad at all. $195,000 for that.
3,000 square feet.
Almost 3,200 square feet. That's
unbelievable.
That's wild. And then finally, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, T-bowl for each and every pee-hole out there. 4,780 square feet. That's a big one right there. That's a big house. It's ugly. It's a big, but there's brick and stone. There's like 8 different kinds of siding. It's one of those houses where whatever kind of siding has a spot in it. It's a big, giant, open concept house, but it's too open because it's just one enormous room.
Does it feel like a bunch of people have owned it and added their little piece to it?
No, it doesn't. No? It feels like they built it at whatever time they built it at. They built it for every trend that was big at that exact moment, and now they've all kind of gone out. $499,000 for that, though. That's almost 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, that's a big-ass house.
Big-ass house. Things to do here. Oh, Jimmy, is there things to do? Obviously.
Yeah.
Why else would people be here unless there was amazing fun and entertainment. The Kansas Wheat Festival is going to be here, Jimmy.
Oh, you bet. Yeah.
Oh, baby, I'm telling you. The kids, all the kids, my kids anyway, they're being good just so they can go here all year long. It's like, well, if you're not good, you can't go to the Kansas Wheat Festival.
Fuck what Santa thinks.
And it says from their website, if you are ready for a little summer excitement, mark your calendars for the 121st Wheat Festival in Kansas. Wow, that's a long way of wheat here. It's held in July, so it's going to be hot and weedy.
God,
Jesus Christ. That's a lot, man. The Kansas Wheat Festival is a 5-day event. There's contests and competitions for each day. Of course there is. The parade's theme for 2021 was, quote, traveling through the decades. Oh, man. Anyway, here is what's happening here. The 3-gun cowpoke shootout's going to happen.
What?
I assume that's like what they had at, what's the place in Arizona?
Rawhide.
Rawhide. You know, remember they had like that, the gun battle? I assume that's what it is.
Gun, yeah.
Yeah, with cap guns and shit, and some guy falls out of a building and, you know. The Baker's Bonanza, the County Farm Bureau, and Interim Health Care of Wellington. That's who sponsors that. Bed races are happening.
Oh, those are great.
Those are hilarious when people fall off beds onto the concrete. I do enjoy that.
Wheels on them.
That's very dangerous. Cornhole, just cornhole.
You know what it is, but it sounds awful.
Followed by the cow chip toss. That
gross.
That sounds way nicer than cornhole, but is actually way more disgusting. Cornhole sounds like they're diddling each other. Cow chips sound nice, but that's actually tried cow shit, as opposed to just a nice beanbag.
That sounds like it's a salsa competition.
The next one, catch your breath for that though, because you're gonna need all your faculties for the Design a Bookmark contest.
Oh boy!
Wow, that sounds terrific. Jesus, edible book contest, book. I guess you make a book you can eat, and they see who makes the best one. The hell are you people doing down there? A horseshoe tournament. Just old men.
Yeah, throwing horseshoes. They're probably real horseshoes over there.
I'm sure. Hot dog eating contest. That's disgusting.
Well,
perfect. Yeah. Kids sidewalk chalking contest. Mm-hmm. And then close it all up with a lip sync contest.
What?
Wow, this is fucking death.
At least there, you don't have the ear piercing of the horrific singing of these people. If you close your eyes, you just get to hear a nice song.
Just turn your back. Bring your lawn chair, turn your back to the stage and go, I like this song. This is fine.
This one's not so bad. At least
this is all right.
It's top 40, but whatever. Yeah. I know this. Girls just want to have fun.
You don't have to watch some dipshit gyrate and pretend to sing it up on stage. So there's that. And then finally, the next thing, we won't talk much about it, but I just have to tell you it's there because it's hilarious. The Panhandle Railroad Museum. Because the Panhandle of Oklahoma is south and a little bit west of this. So the Panhandle Railroad Museum. Wow.
It's pretty great that a square state does something panhandle.
That's why I was like, there's no panhandle in Kansas. And I was like, it's by Oklahoma's panhandle. Yeah. That's right here. So it's a pretty boring description. You're going to look at a bunch of railroad shit. If you're interested in trains, it's probably pretty cool. But otherwise, you'd be a
lot of railroad spikes.
Bored to tears. Now, crime rate in this town, remember that kid said there was none.
Yeah. It's none.
A few incidents here and there. Well, property crime, almost double the national average. So
druggies, babe.
I don't know where he was before this, but a worse place, apparently. And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime, slightly below average. So that sounds like druggy behavior, as they quote-unquote druggy behavior. Everyone in this town calls them druggies. Those darn druggies, they're at it again.
What do you call them? Do you say junkies?
Depends on what kind of drugs they're on.
Yeah.
If they're acting crazy, they're a crackhead. Yeah. If they're a dope fiend, you see them with the lean and shit. That's a junkie. You know, you can tell what people are on. I like to be descriptive. It's not out of respect for them. It's just I like to be descriptive. You know what I mean?
What do you say for methods? Do you call them tweakers? They're tweakers, right?
It's a tweaker, yeah. They can be confused with crackheads sometimes. That's the problem, though.
Yeah.
It depends. They can. Then you have to figure out where you are at that point. You know,
is the difference between a crackhead and a tweaker open sores? Is that what that is?
It's open sores, and I think it's also. There's a little bit more perseverance to the tweaker for some reason. Yeah. The tweaker, you'll see them when they look like they should be dead, and they'll still be walking at like twice the normal pace.
With a backpack full of copper.
Yeah. A crackhead eats once in a while.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like a crackhead is not as far gone as a tweaker. I feel like it's a different thing. So you have to realize where you are. If you're in Arizona, it's a tweaker. If you're like, drive through like the city of Poughkeepsie, that's a crackhead probably at that point.
That's a great point. There aren't a lot of crackheads in Arizona. I never saw many. It's not full.
It's tweaking though. Ooh, boy.
Those are tweakers.
So, speaking of all of this, let's talk about a murder that occurred here.
Okay.
All right. We're going to go back to a magical time. Not really. It's actually a pretty crappy time, but it's funny to talk about because we were both kids in it and we'll have a lot of memories. And by the way, at the end of this show, we are going to save us from memorializing and laughing at 1992 now. We're going to do it at the end of the show, and I have some special things to do that with. So don't worry about that. That's coming at the end of the show. Some funny shit here. So December 5th, 1992, we're going to. So
December 5th, closing in on Christmas.
Closing in on Christmas in Kansas.
Yeah.
It's just a very ugly time of year around here. Absolutely. No tornadoes, though, so that's good. But they're coming in the spring, so we do have to think about that a little bit.
Everything's dead, and there's about 2 inches of snow.
yeah, 2 inches. Just that's
all they
mist.
get. Yeah,
and
it's enough to make it bleak.
It's kind of ice more than snow, really.
Yeah.
It's
an ice cap to everything.
Jesus, it's By the way, my vision of Kansas is skewed. I must say, it's not fair to Kansas because I have read so much shit about BTK. So every time I hear about Kansas, I'm coloring that with he's walking around in that picture, like stalking a woman and doing like weird shit and jerking off on a hanged teenager and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, that's right there.
It's all right. That's all I ever see is like he's there, like Sparky big time, and I'm like, oh God,
the worst.
Get me out of Kansas. Get me out of here. So I'm sorry, Kansas. I have
Disneyland.
Going to Disneyland. I've driven through Kansas a couple of times, and
I've been there several times.
I stopped and ate at a diner that looked not like a diner. No, it just looked like a manufactured kind of house thing in the middle of nowhere. And
I think they call that a cafe.
I had a good turkey sandwich. It was great. Yeah. The lady was nice. Ran the place. It was fine. I have no complaints about Kansas. You look out, and it's just fields of. It's just fucking corn, man. I mean, you can see forever corn. Forever corn.
A man in a clear mask made you that turkey sandwich.
I'm sure he did,
with a mustache and
terrifying.
Balding.
Terrifying.
And fishnets.
Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely. I didn't see him. They keep him well behind the door. So this 1995 here, let's talk about a young man. You know what? He's not a young man.
No?
He's a dipshit. He's 40 years old and a dipshit.
Oh, God.
Let's start with a dipshit, shall we?
Terrific.
From all I can see, this man's legal name is Billy. That tells you a lot. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, and everything I've seen on him that's official paperwork, it's Billy.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I don't see a William, even a Billiam. I see Billy. That's it.
Uh-oh.
So Billy T. Reed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Billy T. over here.
Yeah.
Billy T. Reed is 40 years old. And let's just say I don't think things have gone quite as well for Billy T. as
not to plan.
Yeah, not to plan. I think things would have maybe gone a little bit better for him as he reminds me. It's so funny that his name is Billy because just what the new Stranger Things season came out, so we watched the rest of them just to get caught up or whatever. And Billy, Max's brother, the little redheaded girl's brother, Billy is the scumbag of the series. Like for like 2 seasons, he's a total scumbag, and then at the end, now we're supposed to like him because he did one nice thing in 2 years. So. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, Believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
He beat up children. He choked Lucas, for Christ's sake. What are you doing, asshole? Anyway, this guy reminds me of if Stranger Things Billy wasn't, destroyed by a Demogorgon or whatever, right. He would have grown up to be Billy T. Reed. Okay, so you have to picture that guy.
Okay.
Mullet, few-year-old Camaro, I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? It's got some front-end damage from, he was drunk one night. Who knows what happened?
But new exhaust.
He keeps the exhaust right. He keeps the exhaust. It's tuned and it's right.
Sounds great, yeah.
So he's got some problems from a young age. He's just, he's a white trash dipshit is what Billy is. That's the best way to describe him. It's kind of the only way to describe him. And when we tell you more about him and what he's doing at 40 years old, you're going to go, oh, God, what a scumbag. So as a juvenile, he had a bunch of criminal property damage arrests. He would just, he's a vandal.
Like breaking windows and stuff?
Shit like, breaking things and, damaging property and kid vandalizing stuff. Kids that have like bad home lives that go out and do this dumb shit rather than finding some constructive way to, which I mean, they're children. I don't blame them for that. But the problem is once they're adults, then we have to deal with them, and it's our problem.
Yeah.
Then it's not the parents' problem anymore.
Now it's society's issue.
Watch your goddamn kid, all right? Jesus Christ. Now it's like, fuck, this person's like a full-fledged adult now.
It's not necessarily a problem as much as it is an issue.
There you go. It's not a problem, but an issue. So that's a good name for the show this week, maybe. So not a problem, but an issue. So he did that, and he just kind of never stopped with this dumb shit. Never stopped. He's been arrested for different things, for burglary. He pled guilty to a misdemeanor theft charge, and he made a plea deal. He was up on a burglary charge, which is way more than a theft charge. And so he made a deal to get off on that and pled guilty to misdemeanor theft, and also has pled guilty recently to criminal trespassing.
Oh, boy.
You're 40 years old, bro.
And it's still going like this.
You're 40 years old. You're stealing on a petty enough level where they're willing to give you a deal that's, from a felony to a misdemeanor theft, basically. You couldn't have been stealing that much. You weren't stealing the fucking Hope Diamond at that point, were you? Like there wasn't a...
I'd like to know what it was that he was stealing.
This wasn't an Ocean's 11 caper. This was... Who knows what he stole? This is an idiot.
You're not D.B. Cooper. This is just dumb stuff.
He stole like two quarts of 10W30 from the Flying J. You know what I mean?
Or all the chromies off of an 18-wheeler.
All of them. Every little one. He's like, I got these. Now I got them for cars for the rest of my goddamn life. Next 4.5 cars are covered, buddy. I tell you what. All set.
4.5.
4.5. Or 4 and a motorcycle. I don't
know. Or 9 scooters. Who knows?
I'll put them on my damn dirt bike at this point. I tell you what. I'm going to go in and steal me some two-stroke, too, because I'm going to need that as well. Shit, I got the 10W30 for the other car. So we're dealing with an asshole. A 40-year-old guy who's still getting into trouble on this level is a dipshit.
Yeah, and he's certainly misled, led astray. No responsibility. He's just a tool. He's an idiot.
And this man's been married. Married.
Oh, my God.
Of course he's been married. Yeah. Thankfully, I don't know if someone had an inhospitable womb or this guy's got a low sperm count or just the intervention of the universe in a positive direction.
Inhospitable womb.
Whatever the science is behind the fact that he and his wife produced no offspring, hallelujah, God damn it.
They just had your hotel concierge at her fallopian tubes.
She was very nice about it, at least.
Every hotel you walk into,
that
concierge at this woman's fallopian tubes going,
I don't see it. So you made it. Did you make it through our site? Okay, yeah, not through a third party. Okay, through our site. Wow, it should be here then. Sometimes if it's through a third party, they don't show up. They're on another server. But this, through our site. Click, 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 click. Huh. Huh. You have an email. You have an email or your reservation. Let me see it.
Let me see that.
I'll look it up by the confirmation number. That'll do. I'm sure I maybe have. Huh. Hold on. Can I see that again? I'm going to write it down, and then they write it down on a Post-it.
Disappear for 20 minutes,
and then they disappear through a door I didn't previously realize existed behind them. Like there's always like an art piece around it. You don't even know it's there. They like disappear into the wall and they're gone for a half hour. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's like the Death Star in there. There's hallways with stormtroopers. I don't know what's happening, but I'm not welcome. And the
other lady, Mr. Wisman, welcome. Yeah, here's your room key. Have a great day.
Have fun. Bye.
James, you okay? James, why are you crying?
I'll be in the lobby a while. I'll be down here.
Unfucking believable.
James, how long do you think you'll be down here? Well, I ordered food, so probably a while. I think a while.
They had me paying cash because I don't have a room number.
No, I got fucking Uber Eats is what I did. It's gonna. I don't know when it's coming. Place is like 4.3 miles away. It says it's gonna be a while. I love to laugh at my pain.
Torture it's at this point it's so funny. Fucking funny.
Do I laugh every time? I laugh every time. I can't help it at this point. It's like my discomfort's going to be fun.
I feel you looking at me and I look and you're just shaking your head. I don't know how it happens.
Every damn time. What'd I do? What did I do to these people? And I'm so nice. Am I nice? You have to. Because people are going to see me like from the show, like yelling at these people. I'm not. Yeah. I'm excessively nice. I'm super accommodating, and I don't. Oh no, that's okay. I understand.
Oh God, it's so good.
And they're like, no, further. No, head down further. You got to really bend down. Really bend over for us to get right up your ass.
It hurts.
It hurts so bad. Hurts me too. So
he didn't have any kids. He's 40.
No, thank God. No kids. But he has an ex-wife, though. Mm-hmm. An ex-wife, obviously. Yeah. This is the type of guy who has an ex-wife. Right. He doesn't have them. Or many ex-wives. Right. So he's got an ex-wife named Marla, and they were divorced in 1985. So he's been a swinging bachelor for about the last 7 years here.
Yeah,
he's got to be a popular guy around town with the ladies, I would imagine. Obviously, I mean, who doesn't want this guy? Jesus, great! You can go see him in court, watch him perform. It's going to be fun.
Divorced since he was like 32, though.
Yeah, 33, 32, something like that. Okay. So now Marla talks about later on about that he repeatedly, well, the way she put it, made threats against her before their divorce, saying that, now this is a threat here. This isn't, I'm going to slash your tires or something that's very abusive. But I would say this is over the top. Let's get your opinion. Everybody out there, Jimmy, all let's see. That he, quote, he said he promised he would kill me and cut my head and fingers off so nobody could identify the body.
That's way too far.
That's a threat. That's a very specific threat that you've thought about. That's not just, I'll kill you. You don't even have a plan. Shut up.
I'll kill you and I'll get away with it.
This is how I plan to, this is the dismount that I have planned, okay? Also, I'm going to really try to get away with this.
I'll show you the playbook.
Yeah, so just to let you know what he's all about. And he's also, what he does is he buys, Jesus Christ, he lets teenagers, this is like the Express from a couple weeks ago, except that guy was like 29 or something and more closer to their age, whatever. But this guy lets teenagers drink in his trailer.
Oh, no.
Just drink there, and he buys them alcohol and stuff, even when he's not home. Like, it's not just like, I'm going to watch you drink. Like, they'll go to his house and party when he's not even there, and he's fine with that. Very weird for a 40-year-old man.
Comes home, and there's children drinking, and he's like, hey, guys, I'm home.
Hey, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the way it works. So that's what he's doing. Everyone in town is noticing this.
Yeah.
And people aren't thrilled with it, to be honest. They're like, well, that's weird. I don't like seeing groups of teenagers going to that creep's house.
Yeah.
The town dirtbag's house, you know, with his fucked up IROC. No one wants that. It's just creepy, man. So recently, by the way, he's had some run-ins recently with people.
Yeah.
One young lady, an acquaintance of his, she says that on December 4th, the day before we're going to talk about here, he came over to her house at 2 a.m., which is aggressive right away.
It is, yeah.
You got to know someone really well to just pop up at 2 a.m. Like that has to be.
And even if I know you, there better be an emergency.
Oh, yeah, an emergency. And, I mean, even if there's an emergency, you better know them well. You know what I mean? Like, you can come to my house at 2 a.m. and I'd be like, oh, shit, what's going on? I'd know something was wrong. But
why do you need to be here right now is always going to be the first question.
Yeah. Did you run into a tree down my street? Basically, did that happen? You need to use my phone. So this is way worse, though. He shows up at 2 a.m. and she's like, "Hi," and he's like, "What up? You know, how you doing?" I'm sure he was just sober as a church mouse at this point, too.
2 a.m. small talk.
2 a.m. small talk, and she's like, "So what's up?" And he's like, "Not too much." He's like, "Oh, here's something. What if I give you some money?" Like, I mean, I like money. Everyone likes money. And he's like, I give you money and you can jerk me off. This is just a friend of his.
I'm here for a prostitution proposition.
I'm here for just a quick booty call, except we're going to make it illegal because it's much creepier that way.
What do you charge for handies? Good morning.
This isn't like an old girlfriend, somebody that you could, hey, come on now. Remember old times? Come on. Remember that one time when we went down? Oh, come on now. We went down on vacation.
This is going to be the first time that she jerks him off ever.
Ever. And it's going to be for, I assume, $3 crinkled that came out of his, 3 crinkled singles that came out of his jean pocket. Is that what we're deciding here, I think? Yeah. At 2 a.m.? Out of his tight jean pocket. Yeah. And he had to reach in he had to keep pulling them in and out. Like, what's going on? I got one of them, and that's one. What the hell's going on here now?
Oh, that's a 5. You can't have that one.
Oh, hold on. No, that's want to jerk me off. Just a handful of crinkled.
No idea what it is. I don't know what it is. You open it and find out. Could be $8. Could be $70.
Who knows? You know what? It's like, let's make a deal. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's behind door number in my hand. You have no fucking idea. I open my fingers. It could be a lifetime of bliss and magic. Could be 3 crinkled up dollars with French fry grease on them. You never know.
Could be shame and regret. It's behind door number 4 digits.
Door number 4 digits. I know there's French fry grease because I put French fries in there earlier. So
there's probably 2 in there still.
You know what? 3 crinkled up dollars and the rest of my French fries I got in my pocket. Anything left, even the crispy ones that are on the bottom, the little tiny fuckers, they're delicious. You can have them.
From my thigh sweat, they're extra salts.
That's all it is, but that's it, baby. You want to do that? Surprisingly, this is quite the offer, I got to say, if you're just watching TV at 2 in the morning and you don't get a lot of chance to make money in the middle of the night, but this isn't the most attractive offer. You don't really, right? That often.
He just knocks on the door. Want to punch the clock?
Yeah. And she's like, not really. She's sleeping, wiping shit out of her eyes. So he says, she says, that's okay. I'm good. I'm just hanging, doing my thing. So he's like, all right, then. And he's like, I'll be going now. And she's like, all right, bye. And he leaves. And that's... She said there was nothing threatening about it at all. It was like he came over and was like, feel like going to the diner? I just feel like sitting down and having pancakes and smoking for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Just having a talk about like bands we like and shit like that. That's what it felt like. But he was just like, jerk me off for a couple dollars.
Want to play tug of war? If you win, I win too.
Tell you what, you know how your daddy tell you to pull his finger? Well...
Tell you what.
Boy,
do I have a proposition. Just a non-discriminate amount of money, just handing her like a handful of cash, huh?
Whatever he's got, just beer money, I don't know, gas money. What? So she says no, he leaves. It's fine. Then she's sitting in her house a little while later, an hour later or so, fucking knock at the door.
What about now?
It's Billy again. She opens it. Billy, Sir Billiam, may I help you? Sir Billiam of Wellington, how may I help you? And he says, how's it going? Just in the neighborhood again. She's like, okay, great. And he's like, listen, I'm sorry about earlier, by the way. I understand. You're not like that. You're a nice girl. I'm offering for you to jerk me off for money. That's something, you're not the kind of girl you offer that kind of thing to. Jesus Christ, I'm real sorry. So, you know what? Tell you what. I'll give you this money. All you got to do is take your clothes off. I'll jerk myself off. I'll just look at you. You still get the money, but you ain't got to touch me none. But I got to see your pussy. Is that all right?
Same money, I'll do it myself.
Same money, I'll do it myself. Because he thought maybe the touching me part was what was unattractive to her.
He went and thought it over.
He thought it over. He's like, well, maybe that was the problem. I feel like, clean up then she's got to worry about, things like that.
I am a piece of shit. How can I fix this?
How can I get a load out of my nutsack right now?
Yeah.
With another person in the room for $3 crinkled and a couple of cold Wendy's French fries. How can I do that? Huh. Shit. Well, here's an idea.
Unbelievable.
Susie's home. I don't even know what the hell this guy is. So right now,
this is 92.
This is 1992.
Wow,
we're getting an idea here. Has everyone got a portrait of this guy?
Real gentleman.
So far, I'll cut your head off and your fingers so no one can identify the body, and I'll jerk me off for $3. No, wait, I'm a gentleman. You just take your clothes off. I'll do it myself. Burglary. I'll still pay you. Burglary, things like that. He's batting 1,000, really. He really is. He's quite the...
He's really destined for success.
He's destined for success. He deserves to live in a town named after the Duke of Wellington, I feel like. He's fulfilling his royal providence is what's happening right now. He's...
Already a stellar story.
Oh, head to toe purple. He's just perfect. He's regal, Jimmy. He's fucking regal. So that's what he does. So she said, no, thanks. I'm good. It wasn't the touching that was the part. I don't want you to
seeing.
I don't want you to jizz in my living room, I think is really what I'm getting at right now. Yeah. So when she said that, he was like, oh, shit, all right. And instead of just leaving again, this time he pushed her up against the wall.
Oh, no.
Okay, he shoves her up against the wall with one hand, and then he begins, quote, fondling her with the other hand.
Oh, God.
So he starts feeling her up, and then it all stops when, this is I picture the druggy zombie coming at her, but at this point, she kicked him twice in the shin, and he stopped and ran away. So it was like an old movie. She was like, no, you varmint. And he was like, oh, darn it. And he like, did it, bip, 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 and he took off. It's just traumatizing, obviously. No one should come over your house and fondle
Smart
you
girl,
against
though.
your will. Yeah, she was like, fuck you, Billy. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And plus she knew the guy. She's like, Billy, get the fuck off me. What are you feeling my tit for? I'll knock you the fuck out, Kick. Next one's your balls. And I think he took off at that point. Yeah. So, yeah, good for her for fighting that off. So, this is what I mean. We got things like that. Another person here, a teenage girl, ran away from home. And when she did, she had nowhere else to go. So she went to the house that everybody drinks at.
Oh, God.
I mean, if you're going to run away, at least you might as well be able to get some booze out of it, I guess, if you're a teenager. So she goes there, and he hid her there and lied to her mother about her whereabouts.
Really?
Which you don't do when you're 40 years old.
No.
You're 40 years old, you're like, oh, shit. And then you talk that kid into going home, and if they don't, you go in the other room and you call their mother. They're a child.
What is?
I wouldn't open the door. Be like, there's a kid out there. I don't know, some fucking kid. They're probably selling something. I wouldn't know the neighborhood children. That's how that works.
As a child, that's breaking the law at some point, right?
Fuck yeah.
That's harboring a runaway. Is it kidnapping?
I don't know.
Lying to the parents?
I mean, it could, even if it's voluntary, she's not old enough to consent to be there. Right, so, you know what I'm saying? Especially if she's there against the parents' will, there's got to be some kind of charges that come of that. But no, there's no charges that come of it.
Wow.
Somehow. So even with all of his other charges, he could have been in more trouble with that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's weird is what it is. It's very weird.
So, yeah.
He's a weird fuck. So let's enter some teenagers, shall we?
All right.
All right. December 5th, 1992. Let's talk about Michelle Tate. Tate. Michelle Tate. She's 16 years old. She has, her mother and father. She's got a couple of brothers and a sister. There's 4 kids total. So 2 brothers and a sister. Two and two the family has. She is a high school junior at this point. 16 years old, goes to school around here. She's moved to the area within the last year or so. So she's kind of new to the area. She wants out of this town.
Yeah.
Period. She's the type of teenager that's like, I can't wait to go away to college. Mm-hmm. I'm going to party. She wants to be a model. That's what she wants to do. So she wants to get out of Wellington, Kansas is step one if you want to be a model. That's period. Yeah. It's almost a cliche for her to show up on a Greyhound in Los Angeles and have Axl Rose scream "Welcome to the Jungle" at her or something. It's
in '92. This was a thing that happened all the time.
Oh boy, yeah. Now you can do it at home. You can you can online. You can market yourself. You can do a different thing. But back then, if you were in Kansas, you weren't going to be a model. Period. No. You had to go where models got work. That was it. So that's what she wanted to do. She liked to party with her friends. She liked to drink. She liked to hang out. She wants to go to college and get out of here and party and be a model. I mean, whatever. I would want to do that too if I was a 16-year-old kid in Kansas.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that minus the college and modeling. So, you know what I mean? I had no desires aspirations of modeling, and I didn't even think twice about college. Coming out of high school, I was more likely to be a model than a collegiate. Put it that way. More likely to make my living that way than go to college by far, because I never even thought of college at all. Never. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's what she's doing and what she wants to do. She's got some friends here that she hangs out with. One of them is Melinda Cohen, Koehn.
I don't know if that's fascinating.
Cohen or Cohen, or I'm going to call
it's got to be Cohen, right?
I'm going to call it Cohen. Yeah. So Melinda, we'll just say Melinda. So we have Melinda and Michelle. There we go. Melinda is her friend. She's also 16. She's friends with her. Her step-uncle, Melinda's step-uncle is Billy T. Reed. Okay?
What?
Yes, that's her step-uncle there.
How did that work?
We'll talk about it in a second. There, what is the relation here?
Is it Billy's brother?
I believe it is Billy's brother's stepdaughter. That's who she is.
Okay.
She's Billy's brother's stepdaughter, so step-uncle. That's how it works.
Makes sense. Yep.
She's 16, and she likes her step-uncle because she's allowed to go over there and drink and party and shit.
That's where you go.
And it's just Uncle Billy. That's fine. It's my brother. Don't worry about it. Going over. There's adult supervision. It's going to be fine. Billy's an adult.
My stepdad's brother's house.
Going to my stepdad's brother's house, which is weird. Why would a 16-year-old go to my stepdad's 40-year-old brother's house? That's just weird and silly. But I get it. I would be going there, too, if I was a teenager, though. Yeah. I went to weird places to hang out.
Sure.
And my one friend's parents, the guy smoked crack constantly. We went there anyway. We didn't care. We could smoke weed downstairs, so who cares if he's smoking crack in his own time?
My sister's first husband, lived in a trailer behind our apartments, and he had shed out back that they converted.
You don't even need to tell any more of the story. He lived in a trailer behind the apartments that had a shed that he converted ... Best story ever. That's it right there.
And my sister chose that guy as her suitor. She's like,
I don't know.
Perfect.
That's a mighty nice shed he's got there, boy. I'll tell you something. I got some things I need to store.
Knight in shining aluminum.
That's amazing. Holy shit. Man, his lawnmower don't even sit in the rain, boy. I tell you what, this is some serious... This guy's got it together, buddy.
That shed out back, it was so gross, dude. So gross. It had a subfloor, but it was not. There was electricity in it, James. It was just a shed.
Oh, well, yeah. A lot of people.
They had a couch and
A couch?
There was a couch, a TV. Oh. There was. I don't know if there was water or not, but people lived in it.
Whenever there is like sit-down furniture, other than just like a lawn chair or something, if there is fabric furniture, anywhere
furniture
in an outbuilding, there's something sexual happening there. Either someone uses that as their like jerk shack, or somebody's like molesting someone out there, or like there's something bad happening, and there's jizz everywhere.
There was crack smoked in that place.
Crack smoked. You go in there with a black light, it's going to be hideous is what I'm getting at. It's going to be bad. So this particular night, Melinda Cohn, Billy's step-niece, and Michelle Tate, who is Melinda's friend here, they come to there, and they have another friend, a 17-year-old girl. They plan to hang out that night, visit friends, and at some point, they're going to end up spending the night. They want to crash out at Billy's house because they want him to buy them booze so they can go party around town and then come home, obviously not shit-faced to their parents. They want to crash out at his house and then go home the next day fresh as a daisy to the parents.
Wasn't that a fascinating time in the early 90s when we just trusted crooked adults to buy us booze and never try to fuck us?
We didn't know any better.
Isn't that crazy?
We thought of it this way. If they try to fuck us, we'll say no. But I really want that booze. That's the way we thought about it. We didn't realize that they might be able to do it anyway or kill us or something. Yeah.
Isn't that nuts? It's fucking
insane. I told the story when I was like 13 and some guy tried to like get my friend to come like to his house and he was going to pay him in silver. It was the weirdest... Because he bought my friend cigarettes, not even me. I wasn't even smoking. He bought my friend cigarettes and, got him to do it. And then I popped in the truck and was like, what the fuck is going on? And he was like, I'm going to this guy's house and we're going to get silver. And I was like, what?
Get out.
No, I took my knife out and then the guy told us to get out. Oh, get out of here. You guys are crazy. Because I was an asshole. And
Good for you, hero.
I had a switchblade on me and I just took it out and popped it open and was like, what's up, motherfucker? Or stiletto. It popped out of the top, not the one that popped up. It shot out of the top. Like the one I had the other night. Like the one my travel knife. So
stilettos are great.
Yeah, that's good shit. So anyway, it worked. The guy was like, Jesus, these kids might be a little quicker than I give them credit for.
This might be harder than I thought.
Yeah. It's good. Because I was pretty big. I was bigger than my friend. So he was like, oh, man, that's never mind.
I wanted to give him silver. This kid's got steel. Get out.
I can't I don't think I can take his butthole by force. I'm going to go now. Never mind. So anyway, my friend got no silver out of the deal, needless to say.
But he kept his life.
He did keep his life. So Billy's brother is Tom Reed, and that's Melinda's stepfather, like we said. Now, Melinda became Michelle Tate's best friend when Tate moved to this area from Hutchinson, which we've also done an episode about, weirdly enough.
Hutchinson, Kansas.
Yeah, we've done an episode there. That's so weird. This was last year. She moved here. I guess her parents got divorced. She moved here with her mother and her two brothers and her sister. So right away, she found herself a best friend, which is that's good. Yeah. If you move somewhere when you're 15, that's I did it. That's hard, man, because everyone's ass deep in friendships already.
Right. Yeah.
You have to really display something to these people to get them to invite you into their group. It's hard. So
most of the people here have been here a while, and everything's established. They have inside jokes and stories about a time that guy shit his pants. And
you don't know. You're talking to that person, and that's the one who shit their pants, and you're supposed to make that joke, and they don't know it, and it's It's a mess.
Time you got a boner in third period, and
I
don't know that story.
Yeah, you're going out with Fart Girl. Oh, let me tell you a story. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that happens. Right. Oh man, let me tell you about this party one time.
You show up when you're 15, you might date Fart Girl and not know it.
You don't even know it. You don't even know you got Fart Girl until it's too late. So good. I'm glad that she had a friend. That's good there. She made a friend, and that was excellent. And they were pretty inseparable, apparently, over this time. And through Melinda, Michelle was very familiar with Billy Reed, as were most of the teens in the neighborhood here. And they would gather at Billy Reed's house in Wellington because he would buy them booze and let them spend the night there. Sure. That's all. I mean, it was that simple. That's how he is. So anyway, they end up, a friend of the girls took them to another guy's house, Chuck Flynn. Now, Chuck Flynn is 36 years old. So from what I understand, he's not related to anybody here either. So I don't know. I guess they know him through Billy probably because he's Billy's friend. So him and Billy are tight.
Epstein networking. This is weird.
This is disgusting. Yeah, this is a really weird Epstein triangle that I don't enjoy here.
At all. Yeah.
So they're going to Flynn's house. Flynn's, like I said, 36, to look for Billy, so Billy can buy him booze. That's what they're looking for. They want some Billy booze. And they go there to find him. When they do, he's at Chuck's house watching TV. Billy is. He's hanging out there, whatever. And they said, hey, later on, will you buy us booze? You know, can we find you again later on and buy us booze and blah, blah, blah. Are you busy later? And he was like, nah, I'll buy you shit later. Don't worry about it.
Oh, boy.
So that was it. They took off, and he continued watching TV. End of story. So now Chuck Flynn, back at his house, it's about 8 o'clock at night now. Fast forward a little bit, because this was afternoon we're talking. About 8 o'clock at night, and in December, too, so it's dark now. It's not like it's July or something, and it's dusk or any shit like that. They're driving around town. These Melinda and Michelle and another couple friends are driving around when they see, this is also a bad sign, they see Billy on the street.
Oh, he's walking.
He's just walking, hands in pockets. He's probably got the shoulders up with the denim jacket, collar up. I'm picturing. Yeah, just singing REO Speedwagon or Boston or something.
Hell yeah.
I don't care if I'm left behind. People living in competition. He's like comforting himself with it.
Lonely is the night.
All I want is to have my peace. Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing, ladies? Good to see you.
I hope he's just doing like a mashup in his own head where he sings
different songs
and throws in some Billy Squire too.
Throws in some of that. He's like, "Don't you know that you are some Bad Company?" Mixing it up a little bit. He's just a late 70s. I can't fight this feeling anymore.
Hot time, summer in the city. Songs to warm him up, but also lonely songs.
Oh, man. Lonely songs, yeah. And he goes home to just listen to some Dio. That's all he's going to do. Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier. And I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Rock on, brother. So, yeah, that's denim jacket. Anyway, they see him on the street. They flag him down, and they say, will you buy us booze now? And he's like, shit, yeah, why not? I'm Billy T. I'll buy anybody anything that fucking goes on here. So he goes into a liquor store and purchases them at their request 2 bottles of, what do you think? They're teenage girls. What do you think they want?
They want vodka.
No, almost. Almost. Yeah, no, they want Everclear.
2 bottles?
2 bottles of Everclear. I don't know if they're big bottles or the small, like a pint or, like a flask size.
That's in it.
Either way, 2 bottles of Everclear for 3 young girls is a lot. They're
battling.
That's a lot. Whew, man. So he said, hey, I'm not going to be home. I'm going out. Yeah. I'm fucking Billy. I'm doing things, obviously. I got a lot going on. Get me some pussy tonight, baby. Yeah, buddy. That's his.
You're going to get somebody to watch me jerk off.
Man, I'm going to pay a woman to just watch me jerk it. Yeah, that's right. She'll take her tit out for enough money. So he said, I won't be home, but you girls have the run of the place. Go on over my house, and you can hang out and drink and do whatever. Nobody will be there, so you'll have the run of it. Enjoy. So, they're like fucking awesome. Yeah. Teenage girls on a Friday or a Saturday night.
Free trailer
with 2 bottles of Everclear and an open house, man. This is like
my stomach hurts already.
But if you're a teenager, this is like, could it be any better? You know what I mean? You rent a couple of movies and you are right up to, what would they be renting right now, you think?
In 92? Shit.
You know what? Hold that thought, because I'll tell you exactly what they'll be renting, because I have the top 10 rentals from that time at the end. That's part of our nostalgia trip.
Incredible.
Movies and music at the end. So stick for that, and we'll find out maybe what they were renting that night. So what do you think, though? What's your guess now?
And I'm trying to think of what was that. Was Naked Gun 33 1/3 out then?
What a weird choice for teenage girls. Why would teenage girls want to watch Leslie Nielsen bump into shit? That's not what teenage girls wanted to watch back then.
It was a Corey Feldman, huh? It was a Corey Feldman.
Not by then, right? No, Feldman 92? Was gone by then. No, 92.
Oh, that was the end of it all. That was like Dream a Little Dream, the bad stuff.
That was when they were adults playing kids, and you were like, oh, this is creepy. Feldman, you're looking creepier by the day, bro.
Yeah, you're 26, sir. Stop this.
Mm-hmm. And he started to dress like Michael Jackson, even in movies. And you were like, this is weird.
And now he still thinks he is.
Oh, yeah, he does. Still.
He's like, Mike's dead. I can do it now. No, you can't.
Kids now won't even know that I'm imitating him. They'll think this shit's original.
They'll think I made it.
Yeah. So anyway, it doesn't matter what they got. So they're going over there, drinking, doing everything. So they go over there and they play a drinking game with Everclear, where they just mix it with Pepsi.
What?
They mix it with, that's all they had, so that's what they mixed it with. Everclear and Pepsi, which sounds...
I'd rather put water in it.
That sounds terrible.
That's so bad.
Oh, God, the taste, it would just...
Cola gasoline.
I'd like Pepsi that could... Yeah, exactly. Pepsi that if you lit a match near me, my insides would catch on fire. That's what I would like. But make it Pepsi.
They do a Flamin' Dr. Pepper. We could do Flamin' Pepsi. It's literally flaming.
Wow. So they played a drinking game with that.
Oh, my God.
Within an hour, Jimmy.
They're dead.
Within an hour, they drank most of the Everclear within an hour.
What?
We're talking about 3 teenage girls drank.
And they handled it?
Michelle started to feel a little bit sick. And that just a little sick. Not like...
Oh, my God.
And Michelle needed to go to the hospital would have been the thing I would need to say. Like, one of them needs...
Michelle's in the hospital. The other 2 are in the morgue.
One's who were in the morgue, and Michelle threw up and her pancreas fell out. So we have to help her. It was in the toilet. We had to get the net from the fish tank and grab it. It was crazy.
These girls are pickled and seasoned. Holy shit!
That's a lot. So in an hour they did that.
Wow. Are we sure these aren't like airplane bottles? These are like...
I don't know. How do you play a drinking game with airplane bottles?
How does Everclear? I've only seen in the big 750s. I've never seen it smaller than that.
I was thinking maybe it was because I've seen like the smaller bottles that are kind of shaped like a flask. I think I've seen those. Maybe the one's like a Mad Dog 2020 bottle, like one of those.
Well, is that a fifth? That's not a fifth.
No, I've seen.
I've always considered that a fifth because I think the 750 is considered a fifth. That's a fucking way too much. I don't think I've ever seen anything smaller than the 750.
Wow. Either way, it's Everclear. It's enough to make one sick and the other one's really shit-faced in an hour.
Your lawnmower will literally run on it. You don't. Yeah. It's literally flammable. It's combustible shit.
If you have a carburetor engine and you run out of gas, you could get a jump started with this shit. You can get it cooking with this. You really can.
It's unbelievable.
It's insane. So that's what they're drinking, mixed with Pepsi.
Okay. Oh, God, Jesus.
So anyway, they get their friend, a guy named Buck Rowan. Yeah. Enter Buck into the picture. Buck. Come on, Buck. You got to be a strapping son of a bitch to pull Buck off. James? It's not out yet. 94.
94, that's right.
Tombstone's 94. Yeah. 92. Jesus. Drop Dead Fred. They rented Drop Dead Fred. Because that came out in 91. So there you go. I think it did because I saw it in the theater when I moved to Arizona because some girl that I liked wanted to see it. And
such a good movie.
Yeah, and it turned out at the time I didn't like her or the movie, but later on I appreciated the movie more. But at the time, I decided against both things, so it wasn't good.
Thanks a lot, Drop Dead Fred, for ruining Phoebe Cates for being attractive. They made her the least sexy Phoebe Cates has ever been.
I think that's what she was going for.
You think so?
I think so. I think she was like,
trying to ruin the fast times.
I'm tired of people pausing and whacking it to my boobs. Okay, I'm tired of it. I'm going to have a thing where I play like a different type of character, I think, like a sweet kind of, because she looked sweet. And
she was very nice, yeah.
But that's why people liked her.
An average girl, yeah.
Because she was girl next door, but sexy, you know what I mean? So that's why they liked Fast Times. That was like...
And then they made that show the least sexy she's ever been.
Yeah, which, I mean, it would have been really weird to have her looking all sexy with that idiot jumping around her, because he wasn't real sexy, so why the hell does she have to be sexy? I don't have to sex it up if I'm around this dipshit, do I? No? All right. We can both be ridiculous. Great. Sounds good. It's perfect.
Sorry.
No, I'm all about
Buck Owens is here.
So, yeah, Buck Owens, Rowan. Buck Rowan is here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be a strapping man to pull off Buck as a name. Otherwise, it's just sad. He said they would drop Melinda here off and her friend, another young lady here. They'll drop them off at the Coastal Mart.
Okay.
Which sounds like a gas station is what it sounds like. The Coastal Mart that's open late. That sounds like
Coastal Mart in Kansas, as if there's any coast anywhere nearby.
No. It's probably some gas company called Coastal, but no coast anywhere. They imagine the bleakness around this place too. It's just probably, Jesus Christ. So the plan is take them to Coastal Mart, then take Michelle to the Scotsman's restaurant and attempt to get some coffee in her.
Okay.
I don't know why they couldn't just get some coffee at the Coastal Mart.
Coastal Mart has a
and have it do it in the car, rather than drag a drunk 16-year-old into a fucking diner and sit her down. What kind of weird spectacle is that you're making? I don't know if that's normal around these parts, but
if you get the coffee at the Coastal Mart, if your stomach hurts and you're driving around with a sick, drunk girl, she could throw up coffee all over your car.
I guess it's better to throw up in this restaurant.
Yeah,
they have
at
night
least
porters,
sit down and
I
there's
guess.
no motion sickness. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's
sit down
true.
And gather your wits.
So the plan is I'm going to get her some coffee. Buck's going to get her some coffee. Melinda and her friend, you guys go to the Coastal Mart, and then I'll meet you guys up at the Coastal Mart at midnight.
Okay.
So we'll be back with Michelle at midnight. We'll all meet up, and everything's going to be great. So Buck said that Michelle was real shit-faced. She was really drunk. Like, you have to help her to walk her places and shit.
That's
drunk.
Awful.
You know, like a young girl who drank Everclear type drunk.
Right. Anybody who drank
I can't drink that. If I drank that, you'd have to help me too. That's what I mean. Yeah. I don't weigh. I've seen Michelle. She doesn't weigh more than 120 pounds probably. Jesus. So, I mean, wow. He said that he didn't. They went to go to the Scotsman's restaurant, but he ended up driving by because there was a sheriff's car parked outside.
Okay.
So you're a teenager. You don't want to fucking pull in with a drunk teenager that you have to carry into the place. Right. They're going to come talk to you probably, and then you're going to get in trouble and whatever.
How old is Buck?
I think he's around their age. Might be a little older, but he's not in his late 30s at least, or 40.
He might be 17 or 19, something like that.
Yeah, maybe he graduated last year or whatever the fuck. But he's in the ballpark of I guess somebody that's reasonable for them to be hanging out with. Yeah,
it doesn't look bizarre on the surface that he's surrounded himself with 3 girls.
Yeah, if you're 40 and you drag a 16-year-old drunk girl into a diner, it looks way worse than even if you're their friend, because then you better pretend that they're your daughter and you just caught her drunk with her friends and she's in big trouble. That's why you better bet. That's right. I found her, goddammit, one of her, these damn kids these days, no respect. I'm going to get some coffee in her. Come on, honey.
I went bowling. I came back to this shit.
Jeez, I worked my ass off all goddamn week for this shit. This is what I get for it on a Saturday goddamn night, my one goddamn night to relax.
Put a roof over your head.
Damn it. I'm going to miss the Kansas football game. This is bullshit. Very upset.
The strongest you got. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. So he said that Buck drove around looking for Melinda at this point and her friend. They were like, well, where'd they go? Because he dropped them off at the Coastal Mart, but they weren't going to just sit at the Coastal Mart for an hour and a half. They were going to go do whatever and then meet back at midnight. So during this whole time he's driving around, Michelle is sick, and now she started throwing up God. She spends most of this time, hanging out the window or whatever.
Yeah,
so
painting the side of the car.
And he's trying to find her friends to give her back to them, basically. Yeah. Like, here you go. Here's this throwing up friend of yours. Yeah. No one wants responsibility for the throwing up girl. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah.
So, unless you're nice and you don't want him to choke on it and you want to help them. So he decided, I don't know where else to go. I can't find these chicks. I know they were at Billy's house, and I know that's where they're all going to end up later because they're going to stay over there because they're drinking. So I'm just going to go take her over there now and drop her off at Billy's house, and she can sleep this off. And all the other girls will be back in a little while, and then they can sleep it off, and everybody will be fine. They're whatever.
All so trusting.
Yeah. So she is so drunk that she can't walk to the house herself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Buck's brother, I guess, is nearby. I don't know where the hell Buck's brother came from into this scene. Where did runoff of Buck happen? I don't know, but we got brother Buck over here now,
okay.
And he came out of nowhere and helped Buck carry Michelle into Billy's house.
Okay.
So she was so wobbly, and especially after puking a whole bunch, you know how that feels. You can't.
Yeah.
Your body feels like you've had like a giant vacuum stuck in your mouth, and every bit of your insides has been sucked out. You feel horrible. So
it hurts so bad.
It hurts. It's bad. So Buck says that they put her on the couch, laid her down on the couch, took off her shoes, and covered her with a blanket. Okay. They put her sideways. Yep. She throws up, it'll be on the ground.
The trash can by her face, guys.
Well, they're kids. They're not thinking that. I don't know how old Buck or his brother is, but I don't think they're thinking it through that. Not my fucking carpet, and they walked out. Not my shag. It's brown anyway. They won't pick up nothing. So that's about that. They feel like done my good Samaritan duty. I've brought her to a safe place and laid her down and even put a blanket over her. We're nice guys. Peace out. And they go to leave, okay? So as they go to leave, Buck and Brother Buck, this is when Billy pulls up. REO Speedwagon blaring out of the T-tops. You know how it goes. So Buck tells him, Billy, that Michelle is in your house on the couch We laid her down on the couch with a blanket in there, just so you know, so you're not like, who the fuck's on my couch when you walk in. He said, well, why the hell did you do that? Yeah. He says, God damn it, you should have put her down in the room on the waterbed.
No, you don't.
Well, actually, because, this is the thing, I read that, I was like, oh no, because he said, I sleep on the damn couch.
Oh, I can't sleep on a waterbed. It makes me woozy.
It's better for my back, I think, is the deal. He goes, so I sleep on, a 40-year-old man who sleeps on his own couch, by the way, that's a problem also. There's so many red flags with this guy in general.
If I do that a week.
On purpose, though?
No, it's because I fall asleep watching TV.
Yeah.
I wake up at like 2 a.m. and be like, fuck it.
Yeah. No, this guy brings like his bedding out there. He's got like a pillow and a blanket set up. This is where he sleeps by choice. This isn't like I fell asleep and I'm too lazy to go to bed now.
He gets his bed pillow and puts it on on the couch.
On the couch. Gets like dog hair all over it. Absolutely. Doesn't give a shit.
No good.
It's bad. The whole scene is terrifying at this point. So he said, God damn it.
He needs to sell that waterbed and get him a Serta, because those waterbeds, if that's the problem, it's got to be the problem. Those are awful.
Sure.
That's the worst.
They support nothing.
Nothing.
And every time you move, you're
a horseshoe. Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I moving still? So he said you should have put her, but in the 80s, waterbeds were huge. So by 92, there were still remnants of water. That was the popular thing. Yeah. And then it was, memory foam and spring coils and this one and that. There's just whatever they come up with that week to sell you a new mattress. You have that mattress? Oh, God, you're going to die. You need this new one. We really fucked up making that last one.
I had a waterbed till I was 18, and that thing had a heater in it. And
they have to, or else you'll die of hypothermia.
Yeah, then the heater went out, and I couldn't sleep under the blankets ever again.
No, you need to have because I've had a waterbed back in the day like that where the heater died too, and you have to put like 4 comforters on it. Yeah. Otherwise, and even then you wake up like pretty chilled. You're like, I feel like my body temperature is about 92 right now. That's not right? It's dropped a little lower than it should be.
And the underside of you, whichever side is on the mattress, is ice fucking cold.
It's cold, and like your joints are sore. Yeah. Like, what happened? All stiff and shit. When you're 17, this shouldn't be like this.
Then you flip over because you're freezing, and then like your back like goes away that it doesn't go.
Yeah. Not at all.
You just wake up in pain.
Oh, it's so fucking bad.
What a terrible invention.
It really was, man. But people, it was supposed to be like sexy. Like, come on, hop on here. And then we both have like motions. And
meanwhile, fucking on one of those is damn near impossible. You get no leverage from the knees.
No. But I think the theory was that if you can get a rhythm going, it's almost like a paddle ball game.
Yeah.
Where you keep you do it once or twice, but if you really nail it, you get in the rhythm for a while. I think if you're in the rhythm in a waterbed, is what they're trying to sell is the water will keep the rhythm for you.
Yeah.
And it'll just, the flow of the water will keep you like fucking on Yeah. Or like the water will pull her away and you away and then slam you together every fucking... It becomes like a hydro-powered fuck toy.
It does all the work.
Yeah. Yeah, you know how it works, right? I think that's what they were trying to sell, like a hydro-powered fuck experience, but I don't know.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't really. I don't think that's how it's going to end up happening in the end.
Because it's square, not round, and there's no the waves crash into the walls of the bed frame, and it fucks everything up.
It's all fucked up, yeah. Just...
And then you're just fucking in a cyclone.
And they all had giant like headboards with shelves and shit on it. Like everyone
a giant mirror in the middle.
Mirror and shelves and a slide thing that you put candles in and shit. Why?
I don't know.
Like we'll make it half armoire and half hydro powered fuck unit. Why not?
Enjoy your hutch bed.
Yeah. It's an armoire fuck unit. That's what it is.
With like padding around the edges of it. It was awful.
They were bad. Consider yourself lucky if you're too young to have ever had a waterbed.
It was bad.
Yeah, in the 80s, someone...
Hydro-powered fuck machine.
Hydro-powered fuck machine. It's going to keep its own rhythm. Perpetual motion with this water.
That was the working title, and then they just went with waterbed.
Guys, I don't know. Would you buy that? You know what I mean?
It's a little too on the nose.
Everybody else has this bed and that bed. What if we make it like just like water bed? What do you think of that? You think the people will go for it? All right, I don't know. Let's try it out. So he's upset because he can't sleep on the couch now because she's there. Mm-hmm. So Buck shrugged his shoulders and was like, I don't know, bro. And he left. Like, that was that. Buck doesn't give a shit. Buck just wants out of this situation. He doesn't care. Yeah. Buck thinks this was about 2 a.m. when he dropped her off and put her on the couch. That's his general memory. I think it was about 2 a.m. So they drove around for 2 hours looking for their friends. Jesus Christ. So in the meantime, Melinda and her other friend there, part of the original trio, they've been driving around with 2 other friends.
Oh my God.
2 boys named Charlie Callahan, which isn't that
Irish kid?
Isn't that one of isn't that Chris Farley's dad, like Brian Dennehy and Tommy Boy? Is his name Charlie Callahan?
I think it was it Brian Callahan?
Well, his name is Brian Dennehy, so that would that's pretty good. Yeah, fuck.
I don't
what
know.
The hell?
Did they call him his first name? They had to, right?
He's the brother that died in a boating accident when they were 9. So Chris Farley's going to do it, I guess. I'm not sure. And a guy named Josh Wolf, who apparently
what really?
Like, yeah, I don't know if that's that Josh Wolf. It's 92.
It could be him.
Is he from Kansas?
I don't know.
If he's from Kansas, this could be. While I'm doing this, Jimmy, look him up and see if he's from Kansas. Quick, I think we should do that shit. So
I would not be surprised if he is, because
he's from Kansas. I am going to shit because that could definitely be him. Also, it's 2 4-letter words, so it could be very.
He was born in Boston.
Never mind. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Different guy.
Different guy. There's a comedian named Josh Wolf. Anyway, so. She's with Josh Wolf, Charlie Callahan, Melinda, and her other friend. The 4 of them are driving around. Michelle's passed out on the couch still. They say at 1:30 a.m., this would be before Buck says he dropped Michelle off, 1:30 they stop by Billy's house to see if, because there's no cell phone, so they've literally 2 carloads of people have been driving around a small town looking for each other and have failed. That's how weird this is.
But, I mean... And that's a bad plan, too. Just like any other time. If you're lost or being looked for or you're looking for somebody...
Keep moving?
Yeah, stand fucking still. Mm-hmm. That's what my parents always told me. If you're ever lost... My grandparents told me. If you're ever lost in this grocery store, you stand fucking still. Don't move. I'll find you.
That's the thing. You have to have an agreement of one of the parties is going to stand still. Because if both of these carloads stood still, no one's finding anybody either. So someone's got to stand still and someone's got to agree to look, and then you can find somebody. You'll eventually pass by them. So,
but if I went shopping with my grandparents at the King Soopers, my grandma would go one way, my grandpa would go the other way. I'd go with my grandpa because that man is a fucking hero. And we would just be walking, looking for things, and we would just magically meet up with my grandma. And I was always like, how did we do this? And he goes, we've been married for 40 years.
I know where she is.
I know where she's at.
I know she'll be staring at yogurt for some reason. She does it every time. I know what she's doing.
I need to go down the soup aisle, of course.
She's always in that fucking soup aisle. Cream of some shit. I don't know. So they say at 1:30 they stopped by Billy T's house, and no one was home.
Yeah.
The house is black and empty, knocked on the door, nobody answers. Oh, well. So then they say around 2:30 a.m., they saw Buck again. They ran back into Buck at the Scotsman's, the restaurant, I guess, the bar, lounge. I don't know if it's like I don't know what the hell it is, or maybe like
it's where we
food.
Congregate. Yeah.
Where we congregate. Maybe their version of Denny's. I don't know what it is.
Maybe.
Is Denny a Scottish name? Maybe that's what it turned into Denny's after a while. So he then told them about, Buck said, I left Michelle over at Billy's house. She's over there, she was puking all over my goddamn car and everything else. So I left her over Billy's house there. So Melinda and her girlfriend, those 2, part of the original trio, they end up at Billy's house at about 3:30 a.m.
Okay.
And they said no one was there, though. No one was home. Couldn't find anybody at 3:30 a.m., which is weird because...
An hour and a half ago, we got a drunk girl passed out on the couch. Nobody's here now?
Now no one's there. House is empty. They can see the couch. I mean, they've been coming in and out of the house. They have access to it. They can see the couch. She's not on it. So, weird. That's strange. So either Buck's got his times way off, or, I don't know, she disappeared. So, they check there. Eventually, the girls go and start riding around with another 2 boys, Jeff Bevan and Jason Meslin. There's a lot of teenagers driving around at 3:30 in the morning.
Way too many.
3:30 in the morning, like I was a teenager. We did a lot of fucked up shit and crazy shit and parties and everything. 3:30 in the morning, you wouldn't run into tons of people places.
No, 3:30 in the morning, everybody's on a couch throwing up.
Yeah, by then the night's over. They're like in a backyard, hugging a tree, puking. There's wherever you're throwing up, you're doing it in private, is what we're saying. So
these people are on multiple bottles of Everclear, wheeling around town.
Crazy. So she's hanging out. They're hanging out with another two. Like we said, Jason Meslin, Jeff Bevan are these people's names. Bevan said he drove them by this house by Billy T's house at 2:30, but that can't be true because everybody else, he just had his time wrong. Mm-hmm. Everybody else said that they didn't even get in the car with them until 4 a.m. So at 4 a.m., they were like, cool, let's go drive around.
I can't imagine.
Crazy. So anyway, either way, whenever they were there, no one was home. Whether it was 3:30, 4 o'clock, doesn't really matter. No one was there at that moment when they went there. So eventually, Bevan and Meslin dropped off Melinda and the other young lady off at the Coastal Mart again. Mm-hmm. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning now. Two teenage girls standing outside a truck stop here. This is weird.
Sun's going to come up.
Eventually, the two girls end up somehow making their way back to Billy's house from there because Melinda left her driver's license at Billy's house.
The questions I have.
So many questions. So
why
they go,
is it out?
Why is it? Why'd you take it out? I don't know. I doubt you left your whole purse there or something. I don't know.
Right. Did you just pass that around the living room? Everybody looking?
Yeah. I don't think there was lines being cut up or anything. They were just drinking, so I don't understand why your license is out. But she wanted to go get her license, so this has to be, 5:30 in the morning maybe. I mean, it's well past 4. I mean, from 4, they stopped by there, left, drove around, did all this shit, and then they end up back. So past 5 o'clock in the morning, and no one was there still at the house. No Billy, no Michelle, no nobody. So they left again after they got their license. What an active night they have. Eventually, they call it a night at, 7 in the morning. I mean, who the hell knows what time it is? This is crazy, right?
Yeah.
They eventually...
Right before their parents woke up.
Man, they know how to party. I mean, fuck.
They go harder than I go.
Oh, my God. Jesus, 7 o'clock in the morning? Are you kidding me?
Oh, no, thank you.
At 4 a.m., I'm never looking for someone else to hang out with. Ever. Someone else. It's never happened. So they left again, like we said, and then they returned later on, like we said, like, who knows, 6:30, 7 in the morning. And when they return, they find old Billy T's pickup truck in the driveway now.
Oh, he's back. Yeah.
Now he's back. Pickup truck there. It's in the front of the house. Not a driveway, but in the front of the house. Yeah. They enter the house, and Billy, is sitting in a chair just, right in front of the door. Just a chair in the middle of the living room. Now, Melinda said he had a gun cleaning rod in his hand. Huh. Those brushes, like a big pipe, like a big gun pipe cleaner, basically.
There it is. Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. So Billy told Melinda that, quote, some man had brought Michelle to the house and that Billy, had told her, Michelle, that she needed to find somewhere else to stay. Because... it's one thing you guys want to come over here in a group and party, but if you're going to be sick in my house, this is crazy. I don't want you over here. Uh-huh. So he said that he went to the bathroom. He told her that. Then he went to the bathroom, and when he got out, the door was closing behind her. She was leaving. She
took his advice. Okay.
She took the fuck off. She was like, oh, that was that. And so he was like, I don't know where she is. That was the last I saw of her. So Melinda and her friend then go out to search for Michelle. What? Maybe she's so drunk. Maybe she fell in some bushes somewhere or something. She could be in somebody's front yard sleeping this off. So they walk around on foot until about 8 a.m. looking for her.
Wow.
They don't find her, though. Uh-huh. Can't find her anywhere. No trail of her. There's not like a vomit trail to follow or anything. Yeah. So they return to Billy's house and fall asleep on his waterbed. That's it. Yeah, they go down to the waterbed. And when they got back to the house after walking around, he was already passed out on the couch. Uh-huh. So they were like, all right, let's go hit that waterbed. Snuggled on up and fell asleep on the waterbed. Jesus. Hopefully Michelle went home. That was that, I guess. So he ended up, Billy wakes up at 9 a.m. and drives them home to South Haven, which is a close by town. Mm-hmm. There they picked up some clean clothes and ended up going back with him to his house in Wellington.
What?
They just stopped by to pick a... So you have a 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
She went out. Presumably, they said, I'm sleeping at my friend's house tonight or something. I'm sure I'm sleeping at your house. You're sleeping at my house. That's how we do it. Crisscross. So that probably happened. And then they stopped by the house on a Sunday morning at
9 a.m.
9 a.m. with some 40-year-old guy with his pickup truck idling out in the driveway waiting for him, where they just run in, grab some clothes, and then get back in the pickup truck with this weirdo and take off.
Get the fuck back to your room. No.
Yeah. They go in the house. I go out in the front yard with my hands on my hips. How's it going? Be getting the fuck out of here about now, huh?
Who are you?
Who are you? That's a good question. Who the fuck are you?
You need something?
Yeah. Or pull the Deadwood thing. Morning. Best time of the day to go fuck yourself. Morning. That's my favorite line. Best time of the day to go fuck yourself. I'm not sure. You can do anything you want there. Yeah. So they drove back with him to his house. They ended up staying around his house till about 10:30 a.m. They've slept
had 2 hours of sleep.
Maybe. They didn't even get back till 9. He woke them up at 9 a.m. They didn't get back from their walk till 8. So they got less than an hour sleep.
Jesus.
They took like a 45-minute nap to sleep off an Everclear buzz and
And they probably didn't even get to sleep in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who knows in there what the hell's going on, how you fall right asleep. So either way, 10:30 they get back and they go right back out to search for Michelle.
Oh, boy.
That's that. They look around. They even looked around. You never know. They look at his pickup truck. They're like, oh, maybe, whatever. They don't see anything in there. There's no blood stains or, her purse sitting there, some shit like that. There's no obvious signs of that. So, you never know. So anyway, later on that day, a friend of Billy's, a guy named Scott Rowe. Everybody has 4-letter last names. Reed, Rowe, Wolf, fucking all of these people. Tate.
Wasn't Buck
even
also?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buck was Rowan. That's 5. Mm-hmm. So 4 out of the 6 characters in this have 4-letter last names. That's so weird. So Scott Rowe, he comes in and he says that Billy came over to his house on Sunday. Now, this is, he only has a couple hours of sleep too, for Christ's sake. So he comes over about 1 p.m. and they talk about this is amazing. Okay, I gotta frame this correctly.
Okay.
He comes over, Billy, to Scott's house, and he's like, hey, how's it going? Scott lives with his mom. His mom's there. Scott's mom, not Billy's mom. Right. That would be really weird. So shows up about 1 p.m. They're chit-chatting for a while. Then Billy does, to Scott's mother and says, hey, Mrs. Rowe, I suppose, do you know how to get pheasant blood out of a jacket?
What?
How specific does a blood need to be?
Yeah.
Really? Is pheasant blood have a different molecular property than regular blood? How specific is that?
Slightly more alkaline than deer blood.
That's what I mean. What's that in an elk or a deer or what the hell's the goddamn difference? So,
yeah.
But pheasant blood. Immediately that would be a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Yeah.
It's so weird. So he and Scott Rowe went to the laundromat. Mm-hmm. To wash this, based on Scott Rowe's mom's instructions here. He said, Rowe later on, that there were tar-like stains on the seat of the truck and newspapers covering up part of the seat of the truck.
Oh.
So that's different. Now, at the laundromat, they washed the jacket that had the pheasant blood stain on it.
Right.
And then they went back to Billy's house. And at that point, Billy began talking about Michelle Tate. Okay, and he's like, yeah, these girls, they went out looking for her, and I don't know, I don't know where she is still. That's weird. Then he asked Rowe, hey, they're just sitting around. He's like, yeah, there's a 16-year-old girl here. I told her to go home. Now her friends can't find her. That's weird. And they're like, yeah. Billy's, or, Rowe's like, whatever, let's continue watching the NASCAR or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Couldn't find her, so I went pheasant hunting.
I mean, shit, what would you do? So then Billy says out of nowhere, hey, Scott. What you think would happen if Michelle's never found? Then what? A weird question to ask, right?
Right?
What a strange thing to say. So Roe was like, I don't fucking know. What do I know about that? I'm watching, Dale Earnhardt or whatever. So Roe said that over the next couple days that Billy would often talk about Michelle Tate, asking him, what would happen if she didn't get found, and what kind of evidence you think police would look for to try to find her and stuff like that. Like
what?
Real weird, non-conversational questions you'd ask.
Meanwhile, Roe has not even thought about the fact he just helped him clean blood. Not a word about it.
Hasn't even thought about it. She's just, who knows? Some drunk girl went home, and who knows where she went? Some boyfriend or something. What the hell do I care?
How nice must it be to be Roe that he has zero thoughts at all?
Not even any. Just I'll go to the laundromat with you, sure.
Yeah.
No problem. So
what a dummy.
Yeah, he said all that shit. Roe also said that Scott Roe said that Billy, he told Billy that the cops would, he said, I don't know, they probably have to find a murder weapon or some fingerprints or some kind of shit to charge people with it. He said, basic, I watched TV twice and I know, I don't know, murder weapons, fingerprints, evidence stuff. I don't fucking know, whatever. Game's on.
Threw him an Agatha Christie book and was like, brush up on it on your own, man.
Here, check this out. It's real good stuff here.
Karl Malone's playing.
I'm watching the damn Jazz. He said at one point that Billy said to him, damn, I wish I would have taken Michelle home. Then, none of this would have happened and people wouldn't be worried about her and all this stuff. So then later on, though, the police are getting a weird tip here. Some coyote hunters. The fuck wants to hunt coyotes, by the way?
I mean, people do in Arizona a lot. They set out calls to kill them because
as a
it's
nuisance.
Legal. Yeah. As a nuisance. Yeah. Not as making sausage.
Okay, that's what I mean. They're not gonna put it in a dehydrate it, make some jerky.
No, I don't think so.
This is coyote jerky. It's delicious. That's
a nice jacket. Where'd you get that? Oh, off of Highway 80.
Oh, that's gorgeous, ain't it?
It's a whole pack. Sewed them all together.
So on this day, this is still the same day, Sunday, Daryl Ostman, Dave Kelly, and Thane Yunker are three guys coyote hunting out in the country somewhere. Now, they said that they noticed a blue and white or blue and silver pickup truck backing out of an abandoned farmstead that day. They were like, that's weird. This Ostman said that he wasn't sure whose truck it was or who was driving. He couldn't tell, but it was a blue and white or blue and silver truck. Dave Kelly said that he didn't know the driver's name, but he knows the guy from town who it is. I don't know his name, but he's that guy who has that truck.
I'd recognize it if I saw it and recognize the guy if I saw him. All right, I thought
I've seen that truck around here.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
the man saw the truck once and was like, I don't know his name, but I saw the truck.
No, yeah, that would be really awesome if you could do that. So Yunker, he said that after Michelle had turned up missing, after that later that day, he heard she was missing. That's when he called the police to report that this truck had been there, and we think it's this one guy that was out there. We didn't see a 16-year-old girl running away from him, so we don't know. But just we're worried. Who knows? It could have been him. We know that we heard that she had last been seen at his house. So. Yeah. We saw him pulling out of an abandoned farmstead. Maybe those 2 and 2 make 4. We're not sure, but
sure puts together well.
It's not bad. Yeah. Then another thing happens that day. A rural out in the middle of nowhere, out by the farmstead, a woman found a bloody nylon vest on a blacktop road in this area. Her name is Debbie Mandeville, and she said that she saw the vest, that day. That was, that Sunday. But she said she stopped and picked up the vest. Yeah. Why would you stop on the road to pick up discarded clothing? What the fuck are you doing?
In case my neighbors is missing one, I just want to be a good neighbor.
You're in the middle of nowhere. There are no neighbors. So she said she picked it up, but she said she dropped it and left it because it was all bloody.
Gross.
So she's like, she took off.
Yeah.
I was going to keep it, but that looks like it could be evidence. I'll just leave that on the side of the road. Wow. Okay.
Perhaps it's the show that we make, but if I ever see bloody clothing like that, I think I might call somebody.
It's going to be, your day will be ruined, but it might be for the best. We'll see.
So, I'm going to be inconvenienced for a minute because I don't think I can just walk away from that.
Especially since your DNA's on it now.
Right. Now I've got fingerprints on it at minimum.
Now I either have to hide this or turn it in because I touched it.
Now I got to bury it. God damn it.
If I'm caught digging a hole to bury a bloody nylon vest in the desert, I'm going to prison. They're going to definitely think I did this. I'm fucked. This is not good.
Just call.
Just call somebody. So she said she dropped it when she saw the blood, though. But then later on, when all the things came out, she said something. So another person said that, or everybody said that it's the same type of vest that Reed frequently wore at work. Oh, is what it is. It's the same type of vest, I guess.
It's a men's vest.
Like a safety vest type of deal. So that's how that goes. Now, the police would love to have a chat with Billy just to find out if maybe he knows anything. He's the last place that she was. So, hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
They talked to him at 12:18 a.m. Monday morning. So the whole Sunday goes by, and then they get him in there that night at 12:18 a.m. So, and this is a lot of times they'll interrogate people when they think they'll be most uncomfortable. So if Billy's an early riser, they might think this is good because they'll stretch him out. They like to keep, if someone's a late night person, they try to get him there early in the morning. So they're not at their best, and you're at your best is how they're trying to do this. So anyway, they bring him in then, and it's the captain of the police department too, Captain Harold Thatcher. He told Billy, quote, I need to talk to you, right? Which Billy immediately responded with, about Michelle Tate, which is,
not good.
Either he wants to help or that's really suspicious. So he tells Captain Thatcher that I came home at 2 a.m., and Buck Rowan told me that Michelle was on my couch. He said that Michelle, he said I told Michelle she had to leave. She didn't really want to leave, but I said, look, you got to go. And I went to the bathroom. I came back, and she was walking out the door. That was that. And he said, I didn't even notice that she was drunk, really. He said, I didn't seem drunk to me. She woke up and seemed coherent and fine, and I didn't know signs of drunkenness or anything like that.
Old girl was drinking Everclear 3 hours ago.
Apparently, no, he didn't see it. He told that Everclear that he bought for them.
Right.
And he's talking to a cop.
Right.
And they drank it at his house. So all of these things add up to, I think she was stone sober, honestly. No, I didn't see any alcohol use. Also, Billy tells the captain that after Michelle left, he said, I just laid on the couch and slept the rest of the night. I don't know shit about anything. So after he talked to some other people, this Captain Thatcher goes back to, now he goes to Billy's house at 4:15 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon. Mm-hmm. While he's there, he notices that there was snow on the ground, and there's large bare spots where no snow, like you said, 2 inches of that icy shit snow.
Yeah.
That's what's on the ground, literally. Mm-hmm. But there are 2 large bare spots near his trash cans.
Oh.
Okay, sitting over there. Now, he told the cop, Billy tells Thatcher that, on Sunday, some son of a bitch stole my goddamn garbage cans.
Oh.
So on Sunday, when this girl went missing, some bastard stole his garbage cans, which are so not stolen very often that everyone on earth just leaves them outside for anybody to take if you wanted to take them.
The least secured item on your property is probably your trash can.
It's the only thing that you just leave sitting outside completely unguarded by anything, and you don't fucking care because it's garbage.
Because it's just trash.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Take it? Good.
Good.
That's what I want. I want it to be gone from my house.
I usually pay people to do that, so good.
I don't care if it's in a truck, in your fucking trunk, or under you can carry it away for all I care. Enjoy. So, there's the trash can thing. Billy also indicated that his trash barrel also has stolen, but it wasn't even stolen with the can. Somebody stole it Monday.
Oh.
These bastards like my cans so much, they came back and stole my barrel. Unbelievable.
Serial theft.
Fucking it's out of control. I blame the druggies walking around downtown. Captain, have you seen all the druggies? So when he asked Billy, the captain here, about the night in question, Billy indicated that, again, I went to bed after Michelle left. I slept all night. Mm-hmm. And when Captain Thatcher told him that Melinda said that Melinda checked their house that night and he wasn't there when he says he was there, now all of a sudden he goes, oh, that's right. I know why I wasn't there, too, because I went over to the Town and Country. I don't know, the restaurant, a diner or something.
Yeah.
I went over to the Town and Country for a cup of coffee, and then I came home and went to sleep.
They are always out with the coffee.
When I'm tired and I'm in my own house and it's, about bedtime, I like to go to a restaurant, have a cup of coffee, then come home and go to sleep. That's what I like to do.
My nightcap is about 100 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah. And getting dressed and getting in my car and going and sitting there and paying for it and the whole fucking jukebox, the whole thing experience. Then I just come back and go to sleep. Very weird.
Really tucker me right out.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So then the captain told him that Melinda and her friends had come back around 4 a.m. and he still wasn't there. Mm-hmm. He said, you know why? You know why that is? I remember. Uh-huh. So weird. I know it was only 48 hours ago and I thought I slept all night, but actually I was very active. Strange. But what I did was, I just remembered, is I went to the Town and Country to find a carving knife. That's why. Yeah. See, I went back out there because I wanted to cut up some deer ribs.
At what time?
Middle of the night. 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. He said, but I went back. I couldn't find one when I went back there. So I said, fuck it. The deer ribs can wait till tomorrow. It's cold out. And I just went home and went back to sleep. End of story. Okay. So now because he'll tell his story and then the captain will tell him why that's not possible, why other people have said other things, and then he'll change his story to fit that. That's what he does. It's when you have a guilty person in an interrogation, this is what they do. Oh, well, here are the facts.
Like a liar would do?
Like a liar. Well, let me change my story to fit those facts. That's what it is at that point. So he said that he came back and slept the rest of the night, like he said. Anyway, he said that the girls went to his house. He said he couldn't find the carving knife, went back and slept the rest of the night. So then Thatcher goes, so this is the third time where you've slept the rest of the night where you haven't slept the rest of the night, because he said, actually, the girls said they went to your house at 4:45 a.m. and you weren't home. Uh-huh. What's up with that? You just said then? Coffee, deer knife.
Yeah.
What's up? And he went, oh, you know what? God damn it, I'm bad. My memory sucks these days. I'm 40, getting old. You know what I mean? You know how it is out there. Everybody, just not as sharp as I was when I was 17, like these crazy teenagers running around.
Right.
He says, listen, what happened was I couldn't sleep when I came back. I forgot all about it. I thought I slept all night, but I actually had coffee, got a deer knife, tried to get a deer knife, came home, and then I decided to just go drive around.
Yeah.
So out near Oxford. I thought good long drive, I thought I slept all night, but apparently I was sleep driving.
Aimless wander. What's with Kansas? Wellington and Oxford? How dare you?
Yeah, that's on purpose. They were like, let's make this shit the
newest England.
Oh, baby, it's going to be a complete monarchy we're going to have here. So they said, why'd you just lie 4 times? Why'd you just everything I asked you lied about? He said, oh, man, I'll be honest with you. Fine. He said, you know how it goes, man. He said, I was nervous, and I didn't want to tell you the truth because I was nervous because I bought them girls that alcohol, and I thought you were all going to arrest me for furnishing alcohol to a minor. So I was trying to.
That's all?
So I lied about a bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with that, obviously, but sounds real murdery. You know how that goes.
Yeah, so I gave you a whole story that's very suspect. Cover up buying booze?
Huge suspect story. So then back to Chuck. Remember his buddy Chuck, the 36-year-old where this all started? They talk to Chuck. Chuck tells the police at least 3 different stories as well. Chuck tells 3 different stories about the evening.
What are you doing, Chuck?
I didn't see Billy at all. And then they said, well, other people saw you with Billy. Well, we went out over here, but I didn't hang out with him. Oh, well, then, actually, no, we went here and we hung out. Oh, we did see those girls, or we didn't see those girls, shit like that. So on Thursday of this week, the police arranged to have Billy's trash picked up. Yeah. In the trash, they find the front panel of a pair of ladies' blue and white flowered underwear.
Oh, no.
The front part of one, okay? In addition, they find a 20-ounce Pepsi bottle, which I was surprised. I didn't even think they had the 20-ounce bottles in 92. Must have been brand new.
They had that much Everclear, and they only had 20 ounces of Pepsi.
Oh, man, imagine. Must have been like take a shot, take a sip type of thing. I bet they were doing.
Gotta be, yeah.
Who knows? Jesus.
Chasers?
So that's more lends itself to a drinking game, too, because you're taking swigs. So there's blood on the outside of this bottle.
Oh, my.
There's also some blue tissues, not like bodily tissues, like a blow-your-nose tissue, with hair fibers on them, hairs of different kinds. A Top Fresh brand bread bag that used to contain a loaf of bread with blood on the outside. They also find a tag from a bra in there. They find denim scraps with hair fibers. And they find a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi with blood on it. Okay. And we don't know how much Pepsi here. And they also find 1 ponytail tie, which if there's ever been in 1992, if any female ever entered your house, there's at least 6 ponytail ties in your house. Yeah. They'd fall out of their pockets as they walked back then. They were everywhere.
They weren't even in their hair. They just had it on their person.
On their wrist and a thing on their pocket over here. Scrunchies, too.
The shirt was tied into a tail with one around the fucking tail.
Oh, yeah. In the
right
front
on the
there.
hip,
That's a popular style there. So, anyway, the other cops are like, let's check into that farm area where we heard that truck. By the way, Billy's truck is silver and blue. So they're like, that matches Billy's truck. So they mention all of that. So they're like, let's go out there here. Let's check that out. They walk around the property. It's just an abandoned farm, so there's not a lot to look at, really, But you got to look under pieces of plywood over here. You got to check under that. A big bush that's overgrown that kind of fell over. Check under that. All just overgrown, abandoned property shit, basically.
And rusted pieces of farm equipment that isn't even unrecognizable. Just chunks of steel. Yeah.
Total. And cellars, too. You got to look in cellars. And they also have a cistern. Do you know what a cistern is?
I've heard the word.
Exactly. I was right there with you. I had no idea. So I looked it up. I was hoping maybe I wouldn't have to read.
How fascinating is that? I have gone 41 years of my life. I've heard that word probably half a dozen times, maybe more, and just moved on by it. Down in the cistern. I'm like, yeah, probably.
Yep, sounds good to me.
I don't know what goes on down there.
That doesn't affect my life, that word at all. So.
I just assume it's somewhere that's a very small room below ground that has some shit in it.
Well, I will read the Wikipedia definition. Okay. Quote, a cistern is a waterproof receptacle for holding liquids, usually raw water. Cisterns are often built to catch and store rainwater. So for farming, so for irrigation and shit like that. Cisterns are distinguished from wells by their waterproof linings. It's not just stone wall. Modern cisterns range in capacity from a few liters to thousands of cubic meters, effectively forming covered reservoirs. So that's what that is.
Yeah.
So
and it is underground, generally.
Yeah, it's down in the ground. Yeah, absolutely. So they check the cistern, obviously. That's where you'd look like.
I'm learning.
The same way you'd look at the Hotel Cecil, you'd find that girl floating in the tank up on top.
Cistern. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Exactly. So they look in there, and in there they find something horrifying.
Oh, no.
They don't know if it's Michelle because it's a headless body floating is what they find.
What?
A body with no head they find floating in the cistern. Horrifying. Her body, she's nearly totally naked. Her jeans are pulled down around to the ankles. A red shirt is looped over one of the wrists, and a white bra is looped over both wrists. So like it was coming off and was caught on her wrists. So they took the headless body out, and then they had to drain the cistern to see what else they would find. And at the bottom of the cistern, they find the head. They find her head.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, her head was in there too, man. They found her head.
Jesus Christ.
At the bottom, it would have been soaking in water and didn't float. Heads apparently don't float. They sink when the rest of you floats. Police photographed also at this point tire tracks in the driveway. And the tire tracks match the tread on the rear tires of Billy's pickup as well, which, as we know, tires on pickups, though, there's like 8 million trucks with the same tires. But for certain amounts of wear, there's a way to narrow it down.
Sure. There's chunks that get taken out of. The tires make themselves very unique.
Yeah, they do. Now, the autopsy comes up. This is terrible. Jesus, poor Michelle had been shot, bitten, shot with a .22 in the head, had been bitten and slashed and stabbed repeatedly with a knife, and obviously decapitated as well.
Yeah. Were the slashes and stabbings, were they life-threatening, or were they like inconsequential?
No, they were not inconsequential here. We'll talk about this. The guy who performed it, Dr. William Eckert, he said that he found that death had been caused by a .22 caliber gunshot wound from the back to the left side of the head. He stated also that Michelle had circulation at the time of the shooting and bled somewhat afterward because she had been stabbed a bunch before that. He concluded that 10 minutes of bleeding would have been sufficient to cause death. He said that there were indications that not only was she stabbed before the shooting, but that she still had circulation while she was decapitated.
Dear Lord.
He cut her head off while she was still alive, Jimmy.
Opportunity to survive this, and not now.
The likelihood of it. Although he said that there's no way to be 100% positive that she was alive at that time, but there are indications of circulation. So she'd been shot in the head and slashed in the throat while she was still alive, and then that happened. The police chief said, quote, she was not dead when he cut her throat because blood was in the spinal column. We don't know why he cut her head off. It will probably take a psychologist a few weeks to sort that out. Right. Yeah, there you go. That's
I'll bet
logical. Yeah. The press asked him, why did he cut her head off? How the fuck should I know why someone cut someone's head off? What a dumb question to ask me.
He didn't say.
Yeah, I don't know. Want to ask him? Hey, Billy, what's up with the fucking head cutting? What's up with that, bro?
The Gazette's got some questions, Billy.
You know what? You guys just go on in there and talk to him. I'm lunchtime anyway for me. There were also several stab wounds to the neck in addition to the throat slashing. He could not tell if she had been alive when they were delivered. It showed she was stabbed 3 times deeply in the right side of the neck, in addition to slashing, shooting, biting, and decapitating this poor young woman. And we'll find out exactly what happened, by the way, in a second here. So this won't be a mystery of how this fucking happened. They also determined cuts and scratches, but no defensive injuries as well here. Which, there were no powder burns and no way of telling how far away the gun had been when the shot occurred. So people obviously freaked the shit out in Wellington. They're like, oh, my God. Yeah. One person here, Erlene Strickland.
Yeah.
Sounds like a resident of here.
She's tough.
She said she runs the Shoe Fly shop. She says, I don't know, it's a shop. That
Shoes? Or?
Shoe, SHOO, Shoe Fly. Like, get away from me, fly. Quote, I've lived here all my life, and I've seen tragedies of all kinds. This place is mad fucked up. That would have been great. The other line. She said, this has to be one of the worst things that's ever happened here. What could be worse than beheading a teenager?
Dear Christ, Arlene. What have you seen?
How much more creative did somebody else get? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holy shit. So anyway, through all of this and the matching of everything and the bloody vest that they then recover and all of this different shit, they decide to go ahead and arrest him, Billy.
Yeah.
They arrest him on December 11th. A search of his pickup truck found a dark tar-like stain on the back of the seat. The analysis of the stain indicated that it contained human blood. No shit.
Yeah.
Certain sections of the seat cushion and the truck had been cut away also.
Really?
There was just missing cut out chunks of seat and seat cushion, which is
just cut it out of the car.
Fuck. So ridiculous. Then they searched his residence and they found a jar of Vaseline, which was like new. It had no Vaseline had been taken out, but there were 22 caliber shells pushed down into the Vaseline.
What?
I guess that was his way of hiding them.
Brilliant that they looked in there.
They looked, they looked in there. Now Tom Reed, the brother, friends, his brother and Michelle's friend's stepfather. He said, quote, we're all devastated. My whole family's devastated.
Yeah.
What else do you say? Bro. So what the fuck were Chuck and Billy doing all night, according to Chuck? Chuck's going to give the word here. Now, Chuck Flynn here, the buddy who, Billy was hanging out with there, he comes to the cops and says that he, quote, has something he wants to get off his chest. Yeah. He says that and by the way, he tells like 3 stories beforehand, but now he's like, I'm going to tell you the real story now. Yeah. So he said, me and Billy went to a bar in Belle Plaine that night. We left the bar a little after 10 to go back to Wellington. Mm-hmm. All right. Along the way, we stopped off. Where do you think they stopped?
The Town and Country.
No. Quote, at the side of the road. No destination, just the side of the road.
We just pulled over.
Just had a smoke, sat there, talked about the world.
We've done
that. We have, but that's because we don't. These two smoke in this shitty truck. They don't. We don't smoke in the car when we want to smoke. That's why
we did that when we drove several hours to a destination.
Yeah. That's to like South by Southwest or L.A. or something. Yeah. Over a 3-hour trip, that is.
Right.
That's
We're pulling over.
3 hours is like, I don't know, let's stretch our legs, have a smoke, that sort of thing.
We're from around here.
Y'all from around here? What?
How dare you?
Never been so offended. How dare you assume I live here? So now, according to what Flynn says, Billy saw a deer at the side of the road, and because that's why they stopped, because there was a deer over there.
Yeah.
So Billy whips out his .22 rifle from underneath the seat and shoots the deer.
Uh-huh.
It's not how you hunt, by the way.
P.S. A .22 ain't gonna do it. They're
not for a deer.
No.
So apparently it wounded the deer.
Yeah.
And so Billy, by the way, shot him, then hopped out of the car and chased after him with a fucking Rambo knife in his hand, caught up to the deer and slit the deer's throat. Okay, so did a hit on this deer basically, and then left it there to bleed for a while they went back to Wellington. Not going to take it home now. Jesus Christ, right. We'll let it bleed out. It's cold out. So they arrived in Wellington at 11 p.m., stopped at the Town and Country store to get gas. At the store, they saw, maybe he had it with somebody else. He didn't have it with that. He has a daughter, Billy. I didn't even realize that. He has a daughter named Stacy who is at the Town and Country store at 11 p.m.
Oh, so he saw her.
So he sees her out there. Then they went to Billy's house to check on whether the 3 girls that he sent over to go drinking were still at his house drinking. So no one was there at the house, so they drove back into the country to get the deer. That was the plan.
What a night.
So then they came back to Wellington and went to the Coastal Mart for a while before heading back to Billy's house. So Chuck says that Chuck and the defendant went into, or later on, he'll be a defendant anyway, into Billy's house, and Billy went inside. According to Chuck, Billy then came back outside. Listen to this. He goes inside, turns on the stereo, okay? Comes back outside, looks at Chuck and goes, I'm going to go in and turn down the stereo.
It's too loud for my taste.
I guess he didn't think it would be as loud as it was on the outside, maybe. I'm not sure. So this time, Chuck follows him in there and sees Michelle Tate sleeping on the couch during this. That's why he turned it down, because she was out so far hard that she didn't even wake up to the music. So Chuck Flynn then says that he went into the bathroom. When he came out, he said he saw Billy leaning over Michelle, quote, fondling her breasts.
Oh, God.
Gross. Apparently, he says Michelle woke up and told Billy to leave her alone. Get off me. Leave her alone. So Billy slapped her. Okay, now Chuck says at that point, he went outside. He's like, I don't want to be any part of this. Rather than going,
what the fuck are you doing, man? She's a child.
There you go. There's a number of different responses to that, none of which are none of my business, and go outside.
You've made this your business. This is your business.
Now it's your business. That's what I mean. This isn't. This is definitely your business. So Flynn then said that Billy came outside and said that he, quote, Jesus Christ. He said, hey, Chuck, I need your help carrying Michelle to the truck so I could have sex with her in there.
Oh, no.
What the fuck? So Flynn doesn't go, that's crazy. I'm going home now. Flynn helps Billy put Michelle in the pickup truck. So then they drive out to the country between Wellington and South Haven, the 3 of these people, I guess, one of which is involuntarily going along for the ride. Flynn says that Michelle was passed out this whole time.
I'm sure.
She's out cold. So they stop the truck in the country. Billy stops the truck. He's driving, turns the lights off. And at that point, he starts trying to take Michelle's top off. And he just tells Chuck, I'm going to fuck her now. Gross. Fucking gross. So Chuck says that also Billy had gotten his rifle from the driver's side of the cab up there, and Michelle was coming too, and he told her, Billy told Michelle, be quiet or I'll shoot you. That's what Chuck says. So Chuck says he wanted nothing to do with this situation at all.
Sure, yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. I mean, I did carry her here, but now my morals are kicking in. So he said that he wanted nothing to do with it, so he began walking away. Just started walking in the middle of the country, didn't care. According to him, he saw Michelle attempt to get out of the pickup, and he heard Billy say, be quiet or I'll shoot you. Then after that, at some point, not directly after, but in some point of near future, he heard a gunshot, and Chuck said he got scared and started running. Oh, geez. Oh, no.
Yeah.
He said, quote, I didn't want nothing to do with this, so I got out of the pickup. That's what he said. And then he said once he heard the gunshot, he heard Michelle scream, then heard a gunshot after the scream. And he said, quote, I got scared and ran to the nearest corner and started walking around to think.
I believe 0 of this.
I believe nothing he's saying.
She was shot in the back of the head. She wouldn't even know that the shot was coming to scream for. He's
probably
a liar.
Not. Or if she was trying to get away, I could see that happening. But I don't see him running away because he's so horrified by the situation. That's what I'm not believing. I believe a lot of how it went down, but not what he was doing. I think he's making himself this just angel who's watching from the outside, so horrified.
And a good friend that's just helping out.
Just a good pal. He said that after a while, he began walking. He was standing around thinking. Then he began walking. He said about 25 minutes later, Billy drove up to where he was and asked him if he wanted to ride back to town.
Yeah, where you
nothing
going,
happened.
Going my way?
Yeah, cop on in, buddy. He said Michelle was no longer in the pickup truck, and Chuck said he noticed no stains in the truck at all. Nothing. Okay. So those big stains must have happened another time. Then he said Billy told him that he was going to get rid of the gun and a knife that he had.
Okay.
Yeah. So Flynn got back in, and Flynn was taken to his home. He said he didn't see Billy again until the next morning when Billy came over to borrow a gas can, which, by the way, he never brought me back to me. So he's also kind of a welcher on his borrowing. It's also a thing. So
will you tell me now what really happened?
Now, for real,
yeah.
He said that he took the gas can because Billy told him that he wanted to go out to the country and burn the insulation off some copper wire. Oh, my God. That is, oof, that's bleak. That's trash. So that's when he took him home. They stopped at the Coastal Mart to get some cigarettes at 11:30 or 12 that morning. Anyway, so Flynn also said that he saw him the following Wednesday night. He saw Billy, and Billy informed him that Michelle had come up missing and that they needed to get their story straight. Okay. And he said that Billy told him, I didn't kill Michelle, and he wants to be sure that Flynn will tell everyone that I was with you till 2 a.m., right? Yeah, okay, right. Boom. We were with him till 2 a.m. So Billy is charged with murder, 1 count of murder, and 3 counts of furnishing alcohol to minors.
Okay.
They actually, usually when there's a murder charge, they drop like a light misdemeanor. They'll cut that off. Mix that with murder, it's kind of silly,
They're hammering him with these so that at least one's going to stick.
Yeah. Murder and shoplifting. How dare you? So the defense attorney, in his opening statement, Chuck's going to be the star witness, obviously. So they have to try to discredit him, which, I don't think he's told the truth yet. I think everything he said I think that Billy killed her, but I don't think Chuck was as innocent as he said in this whole thing by any stretch of the imagination.
I think Billy said, hey, Chuck, this girl's passed out. We can both fuck her. And he's like, Cool, man. I'll help you carry her then.
Either that or, no, man, that ain't cool, but I ain't going to tell nobody. Either way, Chuck wasn't being a hero here at all. So they said that the opening for the defense said that Flynn has changed his story, lied to investigators, all this type of shit. Yeah. So the defense attorney says, you will have more questions than answers when this trial is over, including who killed Michelle Tate. Oh. It's a mystery.
Well, don't do that in a murder trial.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Well, that's the defense
attorney. Well, the defense attorney's going to say,
defense
wasn't my,
say that. All right, as
long
as it's not the prosecutor.
Yeah, the prosecutor. You won't know. I won't know. Hopefully someone will go to jail. It's going to be an adventure. Oh, boy. We're all here for some fun.
Here we go.
Here we go. So the first picture here, they show pictures, and he's objecting to all these pictures being put into exhibits.
Crime scene?
Oh, yeah. One picture shows Michelle's head.
Oh, no.
And shows the wounds to the neck as well.
Oh, God.
And it shows all of that. The state proffers the photograph to show the wounds to the head and the torso, shows that the head is belonging to that body because they show the head and the torso and how the head and the necks line up.
Oh,
look at that.
Shit.
These go together. Yeah. They show another one shows the decapitation itself from almost a top perspective, as well as some drag marks on the shoulder. The state argued that the photograph was relevant to show drag marks as compared to stab wounds, because there's stab wounds and then there's drag marks, so we want to show you the difference. And the photograph, they said, is relevant to show the injuries and the way in which the body was disposed of. And the photograph accurately depicts the injuries to the body and is corroborative of the medical examiner's testimony. They try to introduce testimony from his ex-wife about him saying that he would cut her hands and fingers and head off and shit and all that sort of thing and all the threats. But they end up not, they said that if he's found guilty, that'll be allowed in sentencing. Okay. But not, that'll show, charactership, but they can't add that into the trial because he was never convicted for it or anything. Right. So.
And not only that, but that's not how the body had no head, but the head was with it still. So that's not going to be helpful to your case either, I don't think.
I doubt it either. Absolutely. They are, by the way, going for not the death penalty or anything. They're going for a hard 40.
Huh.
Hard 40 means 40? You do 40 before you're up for parole.
Okay.
So it's a hard 40. That's life, basically.
Hard 40 life, yeah.
If you're in your early 40s, you don't want to hear that.
No, hard 40. I just done 40, and that was tough.
That was tough. I'll do the rest and then die. Great.
And a few years of it, I don't even remember.
I don't even know a lot of it. Shit, I drink Everclear a lot. So they ask Chuck. Chuck tells the whole story I just told you. And on cross-examination, they say, why'd you lie, Chuck? Yeah. Why were you lying the whole time? And Flynn said that, yes, I told 3 completely different stories to the cops before I told this story, but I did so because I was scared and I didn't want to get into trouble, obviously. So, yeah. Now, during when they go to jury, the defense team here, Billy's team, does not request an accomplice instruction, and contends that basically they didn't give a jury instruction that, by the way, Chuck is an accomplice, so weigh what he said accordingly. Yeah. But they did say that he was there, but they didn't give the jury can infer if this guy was a scumbag who didn't help this fucking girl and whatever, all they want, but they didn't specifically say he's an accomplice, so weigh his information accordingly. So that's one of the things that they're fighting here later on. In closing, the defense says, quote, there could be no other reason for dispossession of the body in the manner other than in an attempt to hide the crime to prevent a lawful arrest or prosecution. I submit to you that one of the factors for you to consider is the defendant committed the crime in order to avoid or prevent a lawful arrest or prosecution. Yeah. Obviously, hid her headless body in a fucking well in an abandoned farm.
No, James, it was a cistern.
A cistern. You're right. There's a lining there. It's a lot different. If you were going to, say, sell a car, that's not where you'd put it to get the most visual attention. You know what I mean? It's not like a busy street.
Clearly trying to get the least amount of attention ever. This is a barn find.
It's a barn. Yeah, exactly. This is like a 63 Corvette split window.
Right. Just
found in a barn mint. Just some barn dust on it. So he is found guilty on all charges, providing alcohol and murder charges. So sentencing comes around, and like I said, it's a hearing to determine whether the hard 40 should be imposed, or will he be given a possibility of parole after 15 years. Those are the options here at this point. The aggravators are that he committed the crime in an especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel manner, which, holy fuck, you can't get any worse than cutting someone's live head off their shoulders, and that he committed the crime in order to prevent a lawful arrest or prosecution. The jury gets the case very late on a Wednesday, and they don't finish up. They only deliberate for about 2 hours, and then the next morning they deliberate for another 2 hours, and then they have a verdict here for the sentencing, and they say, you, sir, may fuck off. Hard 40, bitch.
Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, they give him the old hard 40 there. So now Chuck is charged in court with... After this, immediately, he's charged with aggravated kidnapping, aiding a felon, and perjury.
That's it?
That's what he gets charged with. That's probably, I'm sure they had some kind of non-deal deal with him, because that happened a lot, especially back in the day. So he is freed on $5,000 bond following his arrest.
This shit now.
This is prearranged, is what this is. This is
that
fucking
man
ridiculous.
Has seen some shit, been a party to some shit, and he's on the street.
Absolutely. Now, there's a weird thing that happens before the whole trial and everything, that the family, her family, Michelle Tate's family, I mean, Jesus Christ, I can't imagine what they're going through. This is obviously the worst thing you could go through. They come out and say that they think that this murder is connected to the Ku Klux Klan, is what they say.
God damn it.
Because she's black and Billy's white. But if it was, that would be fucking horrific, obviously. We're not taking anything away from people who've been murdered by the Klan for any reason, but this has nothing to do with the Klan. No. Like this has to do with scum.
This has to do with a clan of idiots.
A clan of idiots and a guy who couldn't get some broad to jerk him off for $3 crinkled a day before, so he's going to try to rape some fucking teenage girl. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Apparently she was fighting him off, and from what I understand, they couldn't tell if any sexual abuse had actually happened here, any rape had actually occurred. Don't think that think maybe she tried to run away and he shot her in the back of the head is what they're assuming.
Long and the short of it, that's what they're leaving it at?
That's what they think it is. So,
Meanwhile,
that's what they've told us.
Her ankles and her bras off and her shirt's around her wrist. That's
what I'm saying. I don't know if I buy that.
To you.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's my point.
And the
point
front
too.
panel of her underwear are in his trash.
Yep, and that was, by the way, at trial they linked that to her as well. So
that's
those
the most disgusting description of a piece of underwear.
The front panel? I've never heard that
I've never heard
before.
that either. I hate it.
So, they say that Billy Reed is a member of the Klan. The Klan says that guy's a jerk off.
Not one of us.
Like, we're scumbags, but he's a jerk off and a scumbag. It's different. It's different, is what it is. He's a different type of scumbag.
Right.
Not that he's beneath us. Right. We're all in the same scum cistern together, swirling around. Don't get me wrong, but
it's boiling down here.
It's just a different brand of scum. That's all. So during the funeral, there was a big mess, by the way. During the funeral, this was the time the Klan was like out a lot because a lot of states had Martin Luther King Day holidays passed and all that. So they were protesting in Colorado, Texas, Arkansas, Florida, Alabama, Illinois, and Ohio, the federal Martin Luther King holiday, and the fact that these states were fine in adopting it, and all that kind of shit. So they were doing that. Anyway, in the appeal, this is his appeal. I won't get into he appeals on photographs shouldn't have been let in and all that kind of shit that we've had 100 times, and we understand that that's
Chuck,
allowed.
You're a monster.
Anyway, well, the appeal is that Chuck presented different evidence at trial than before. Okay, that's the thing. Now, in a new statement after the trial, after fucking Billy's trial, Chuck came out with a whole new narrative now.
What?
Yeah. So his appeal here, Billy's appeal is, well, this new narrative, I mean, it's totally different, so I should get off. In the new narrative, Flynn tells police that when Billy took Michelle out to the country and began fondling her, Michelle woke up and began struggling. She called out to Chuck for help.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And he says, Chuck says that he told Billy to stop. And Billy didn't listen, however, continued to try to rape Michelle. And that's when Flynn said, well, this is enough for me. I'm getting out of here. And he got out of the pickup and he said they were still struggling. He said in the course of the struggle, Michelle managed to fall out of the pickup truck. Okay. And according to Flynn, then Billy got out of his truck with the rifle and shot her in the back of the head, then began to stab her in the neck and then cut her head off. Then he ran away.
He was there and saw it all, is his story now.
Yeah, I was there and saw it all. Now, let me ask you this. How is this better for Billy? How would you go into a court and go, see, now that's what happened. How much better is that?
So clearly he's lying. If all these stories are different, then is that what he's trying to say?
No, he's trying to say this story shows, it affects the credibility of Flynn, and everything he said at my trial should be cut out. And then if you don't cut it out, this also shows that a lack of premeditation, even if you believe him. So either way, I shouldn't get the hard 40. Either I should be totally innocent or not get the hard 40. The court says, get the fuck out of here, you scumbag, piece of shit, lowest gum on the bottom of a goddamn boot, piece of garbage. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. And they send him back there. He also tries to say that the terms heinous, atrocious, and cruel were, quote, unconstitutionally vague.
Vague? Oh, those paint a hell of a picture, sir.
If I had a list of those words and the actions that happen on opposite sides of the page, and I said, draw a line from each of those words that describes what's happening, they'd all go to all of them.
All of them.
Every person would go, that sounds atrocious, heinous, and cruel. Yeah. Perfect.
I'd have a hard time deciding which word to use.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He said also he wasn't trying to fucking avoid arrest or prosecution. It's ridiculous. It's affirmed. Yeah. He can eat dicks. Now, during the sentencing, or during the, even though there was an affirmation here, there was 2 dissenting judges here that thought that he should get his sentence thrown out and thought he should get less. Wow. They say that... blah, blah, blah. The defendant avoided or prevented arrest or prosecution for what crime by murdering her? furnishing a liquor to a minor, there is no evidence, let alone beyond a reasonable doubt, that he murdered Michelle to avoid or prevent arrest or prosecution or for any other crime. I think it was because he was trying to rape a 16-year-old, and he didn't want her to tell her friend, who then told his fucking brother, who's the kid's stepfather, and then you know what I'm saying? He's going to be in jail. That's what I think.
Who are the two that were dissenting, and what the fuck have you two done in your lives? Because what are you talking about?
He said, obviously his actions following the murder were to prevent arrest and prosecution for the murder, but that's not tantamount to committing the murder for the purpose of avoiding or preventing arrest or prosecution for some other crime.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying, which is the drinking, I guess they're saying there. That's why they charged him with that. Yeah. The majority, meaning the judges that were in favor of affirming this decision, responds to his argument by relating his alleged sexual acts against her. The majority then states his actions, if concealment of the body had been successful, would have avoided or prevented a lawful arrest or prosecution for kidnapping or attempted rape.
Yeah,
there you go.
And that's what, because he's not being charged with rape, that's what they're saying, is that there's no, he's going to murder somebody to cover up drinking? That doesn't seem logical. But that's not
attempted rape of a 16-year-old.
Right. We only got him with the drinking because we can prove that. We can't prove that he was fucking her, but we have a friend that was saying he was trying to.
Yeah, fucking obviously. Yeah. They say, quote, I also dissent from the majority's holding that the instruction requiring the jury to unanimously agree on either a hard 40 sentence or a life sentence without parole eligibility after 15 years was not clearly erroneous. To conclude there's no real possibility the jury would have reached a different verdict ignores the reality of effect of such instruction has on jurors and the dynamics of jury deliberation. Further, the verdict form perpetuated that error. That's the form they have to fill out, which if you watch the Johnny Depp trial, the jury had a question about that right there. I'm just trying to liken it to something anybody might have seen. The lesser sentence of life with parole eligibility after 15 years is not an alternative sentence for the jury to decide. It's the alternative sentence the court imposes if the jury fails to find the existence of an aggravating circumstance, blah, 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 legal. Okay, so fuck him. He's in jail. Yep. He's there for, you know what this year is, right?
40 years.
40.
Is it? No, it's 30.
It's 40. No, it's 30. It's 30. Thank God.
We still got 10.
Yeah.
We still got
10 more years, Billy. Suck a dick. So Billy's there. Poor Michelle and her family. I feel terrible. That's fucking terrible way to lose your daughter. She just wanted to go. What 16-year-old doesn't want to go drink with their friends sometimes? Right. You know what I mean? Like,
and in 92,
you shouldn't come home without a head.
So common.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. We all did it. So that said, let's find out, while this was going on, the arrest and the trial, let's find out what on March 12th, 1993.
Real quickly, what happened to Chuck?
Chuck ended up, I think, got a suspended sentence or 2 years or 3 years or some shit like that. Yeah, Chuck got a very low sentence. I couldn't find, they just kept saying he went to jail, but I couldn't find exactly what the fuck they ended, because nobody cared about him.
He probably was went like to jail, not prison. He got like 6 months or some shit.
That's it. Wow. So that said, we'll pick up where we were earlier. March 12th, 1993.
Okay.
We'll find out what the top 10 box office movies are at that time, and the top 10 rentals.
All right.
And I also got the top 10 singles and top 5 albums in case you want to know as well.
God, it's so bad.
Top 10 box office films. Number 1, out for 2 weeks at this point, Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Wow, I never saw it.
You never saw it? Where he acts very crazy and runs amok in the city. Anyway, Groundhog Day, number 2, a classic.
Wow.
Out for 4 weeks at that point. Out for 15 weeks, and number 3 is The Crying Game.
Is that right?
Won Academy Awards there, that's why. Homeward Bound, number 4.
Really?
The cartoon, yeah.
No, that's a live action.
Oh, you're right. That's a live action. I just thought of Fievel Goes West in my head and Homeward Bound. You're right.
The yellow lab and the.
You're totally right.
Is it a cat that's with him? A tabby?
I think it's a cat. It's a cat. Yeah. Next up, Mad Dog and Glory, which isn't about dogs, actually.
No,
it's an action movie, I think. Amos and Andrew is number 6.
Amos and Andrew,
number 6. Number 7, Best of the Best 2.
Oh, my God, really?
Yeah, they made a 2 of that. Holy balls.
I think that was better, actually.
It's not easy, or not hard to do, to beat Best of the Best 1.
Yeah.
8 overall, Summersby. That sounds boring. I never saw that. Number 9, Aladdin, because it's been out for 17 weeks, and it's already made $200 million, so it's doing well.
Still in the top 10.
Yeah. And then number 10, Swing Kids.
Never heard of it.
Which barely made any money. The Rentals, top 10 rentals. Here we go. Single White Female, number 1.
Wow.
5 weeks in release and still number 1 in the rental market.
That was a big movie.
Number 2, A League of Their Own.
Uh-huh.
Terrific. Number 3, Unlawful Entry, which I believe is a Steven Seagal movie.
Probably.
I think it is. Number 4, Death Becomes Her.
Oh!
Jesus. This is all. I had this is amazing that they're in the top 3. I had a video tape, like a VHS tape, and you could do the long play, super long play, and it would be 6 hours. I had a tape, and I used to tape the illegal cable boxes. My aunt had that, and I used to go tape a bunch of movies on pay-per-views at her house. I had one tape that had A League of Their Own, Honeymoon in Vegas, and Death Becomes Her on it. That's hilarious that they're all 3 are in this thing. They're all on there.
That's Nick Cage, Honeymoon in Vegas?
That's Nick Cage, yeah. What am I going to do? End up in airport jail? Arrest me? Put me in airport jail? Number 6 is Raising Cain, which is John Lithgow, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Number 7 is Sneakers, which is is that Kevin Bacon?
It is, yeah.
I thought so. Number 8, Mo Money with the Wayans brothers. I saw that in the theater when I was a kid, boy. Number 9, Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. Awesome. Yeah, takes a look. Then number 10, House Sitter, which we discussed a few weeks ago with Steve Martin and Goldie Hawn, out 12 weeks.
That is a great list of movies. I'd watch all 7 that I've seen. I'd watch them again.
Oh, yeah. I've seen pretty much all of those. And top 10 pop singles, by the way. Number 1 and it's been on the list for 4 weeks and it's still number 1. Informer, Snow.
I was going to ask you.
Really?
Is it Snow?
Followed by Dr. Dre with Nothing But a G Thing. So hip-hop was up there, but they were like, no, Snow's much better. They were both, by the way, on the chart for the same amount of time.
Wow. And Informer was crushing him.
They just chose Snow over Dr. Dre. Silk with Freak Me after that.
Hell yeah.
We got A Whole New World with Peebo Bryson and Regina Bell. That's from
Aladdin.
Whole New. I'm Every Woman, Whitney Houston. I'm every woman. All right.
It's all in me.
Duran Duran, Ordinary World.
Wow, how about that? They hung around till 93.
Very well. It was a boring song, too. I remember that song. It sucked. Jade, Don't Walk Away. I don't know what that is. Arrested Development, Mr. Wendell. Mr. Wendell.
What number was that? 6?
Number 8. It's been out for 7 weeks already. Yeah. Whitney Houston, number 9, I Have Nothing.
God, she crushed.
Okay. And then number 10, rounding it out, Bon Jovi with Bed of Roses. I'm a bed of roses.
I'm gonna lay you down.
I'm a bed of roses.
That was such a bad album.
That is bad shit.
That was the
right
end
there.
of it for them.
There's a lot of shit in that top 10.
Yeah.
A lot of shit. And then the top 5 albums out at the time, because that's totally different than the top 5. Yeah. No, actually, shockingly enough. Number 1, Eric Clapton Unplugged.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? 19 weeks on the fucking charts, still number 1.
Right. And he's a
number
cunt.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's
Number 2, 15 weeks on the chart, The Bodyguard soundtrack. Whitney Houston. I will always love you. That's going to be huge. Number 3, Jesus Christ, really? 15 weeks on the chart, Kenny G, Breathless.
Number 3. I've never heard more than
White people bought a lot of albums.
Yeah,
Eric
did.
Clapton, Bodyguard soundtrack, Kenny G. That is
Jesus Christ.
40-year-old white ladies are buying all 3 of those. Number 4, Naughty by Nature.
Hell yeah.
On there. Yeah. 1993. Yeah. And then finally, number 5 on the chart for 8 weeks, Dr. Dre, The Chronic. So there you go.
There you
Not
go.
too shabby there. And
wow.
there you go.
That is mind-blowing, and what a revisit. I remember Snow being enormous, though.
Oh, so big. You know, I had to do that not only because we were curious and I wanted to save us from talking about 1992 for 5 minutes at the top of the show, but on top of that, it was just a fucking gross way to go, and I just felt terrible. And I'm like, we all need like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Snow Informer, and that's going to cleanse it all, I think. What's
that guy? He must have made a shitload of money from that because you never heard from him again, obviously.
That doesn't mean he's not like mopping a target somewhere.
That was the most insulting music ever. Some white guy with a Jamaican accent.
That was really
insulting.
Really embarrassing. Next to Eric Clapton's I Shot the Sheriff, it might have really, with white guys impersonating island folk. Yeah, that was bad shit. It was really bad, and I can't believe it was that fucking popular. That's mind-boggling.
Thanks, MTV.
Nothing but a G thing. That was on every 5 seconds, too, but they bought Snow instead. Right. Who the fuck did that? What are you thinking, people?
You know what it is? It's because they could play that around their kids. Because you can't play... I mean,
they don't even know what he's saying.
Right.
What the fuck is he talking about? Who cares? It's garbage anyway.
Listen to the chorus.
Yeah, really.
Like
that's true.
Down.
Yeah, different people were buying those, I guess, I suppose. Yeah. That was like people who didn't know anything about hip-hop were like, I like this guy. He's, like a 12-year-old's first hip-hop CD would have been Snow, like some...
Snow and Vanilla Ice.
Oh, God. Oh, that's true, too. They just needed another Vanilla Ice. They were like, we need another one, God damn it.
This guy's not as handsome, but he'll do.
And then they wonder why when Eminem came around, people are like, we don't need any more. Thank you.
Got enough.
You're going to have to fight your way in because Snow and Vanilla Ice have really fucking greased the tracks for you. You're going right off the rails, sir. So anyway, that is Wellington, Kansas, and a crazy story in 1992/93 in a nutshell. And Jesus, poor Michelle Tate. I feel bad. I also feel bad for Melinda because they just did what all the teenagers do. Right. She didn't fucking have any idea that was going to turn out bad. It was stuff they probably did all the time, hanging out, drinking, and to have your friend die from that, and it's somebody that they know through you, and you brought her there and left her there. Like
that likely shattered that poor girl's life forever. I mean, obviously,
I feel horrible.
It changed everything she does. She doesn't do that anymore.
I'm sure she's got to feel, or she does nothing but that. Either one, like who knows? I just feel terrible. I hope she got better over that because it's not her fault at all. Obviously it's not her fault, but that's something that someone would feel a lot of guilt over, I imagine. Sure. A half-decent person would feel guilty about that. So there you go. So anyway, that's the episode. If you liked it, tell the world about it. Yeah. Get on whatever app you are listening to and give us 5 stars. It is important for some reason, helps drive us up the show, so please do that. Also, follow us on social... What'd I say?
He said it helps drive us up the show.
Up the show. Helps drive us up the show, everybody. Wow, I'm tired. Helps drive us up the charts. Helps drive the show up the charts. Thank you. And helps drive this up my ass. That's what's going on here. So also follow us on social media. We are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Smalltown Pod on Facebook, at Smalltown Murder on Instagram. And you can follow us at any of those places and find out all the newest shit that's going to happen and tour dates and those boxes that Sarah's making up a new box. Everybody, watch out for that. There's boxes coming where
send you our box.
Bunch of going to show you our boxes. What do you think of that? Open up my box. I'm going to open up my box wide for you. How's that? So come and eat our box, everybody. I don't know if there's food in there, so maybe you can't eat it. Maybe you can just
dig in my box. That's
just caress our box. Just put your hand in there, finger around a little bit, and see what's in there. Use your fingers and finger our boxes, everybody. No big deal.
Some surprises in there.
Yeah, you need to use your fingers to get under them.
You got to
finger
get
your
deep
box
in my box to get everything out.
Deep in my box, but nowhere to touch too. Don't just jam your fingers in my box. You won't find that everything. You got to know where you're looking. You got to know where you're looking. Yeah, you want to keep the box all together. So be very careful. Check that out and do that. Also, follow us or head to the website. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get all of your merchandise. Murder Bird shirts are up. All this crazy shit. We have so much cool stuff. Get it on there. Do you want a Murder Bird skateboard? You can get one on there. You want a coffee mug that says, "You, sir, may fuck off"? No problem. We got it covered. We got you covered. So get on there and do that. And You can also buy tickets to live shows on there, especially coming up. Well, we'll tell the two that have tickets left that are really out there is New Orleans in July. Get your tickets to that. And then the Pabst in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That plenty of people buying tickets, but that is an enormous theater. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's the biggest venue we've ever had.
Right.
So this, if you sell out this venue, will be the biggest show we've ever fucking had.
For sure.
So let's do it, Milwaukee. People like from Chicago, too. It's going to be a different show than we did at the Chicago live show. So check that out. Drive up there. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. Who gives a shit? Come up and see us up there. Let's pack this son of a bitch out and make it the fucking best show ever. And then we'll talk about how amazing Milwaukee is for the rest of our goddamn lives.
People of Madison, come on through. Tell your college friends.
Come over. Do it up and see us there. That's shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get all of that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get a bunch of other great stuff. All of your bonus material is going to be there, and we have a ton of it. You're going to get the whole back catalog. It's like 150 plus episodes, and you're going to get access to not only Small Town Murders, but crime and sports bonus as well. Anything we put out bonus, you will get. This week, you're going to get 2 episodes like you do every other week, and this week you're going to get for crime and sports. Don't have to like sports. This is just a crazy story. A major league player, pitcher, goes out, throws a no-hitter while absolutely tripping his balls off on acid.
Have you done drugs? Have you ever played in a major league game at the same time?
Seeing trails, not knowing where the catcher is. The story's incredible, and we'll tell you all about it. And then for Small Town Murders bonus, we're going to talk about lots of weird shit that came out of John Wayne Gacy's face. Words, we mean. We're going to talk about Conversations with a Killer, the John Wayne Gacy tapes, and then even more, I'm going to get a little deeper on his own words because, that documentary's fine, but it doesn't do it justice like the guys, like John Wayne Gacy's lawyer, the Amarante guy, his book. I mean, it's just long quotes of Gacy, shit that he had to write down for his lawyers. He has access to all the shit, so he knows exactly what happened. Yikes. We'll talk about all of that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that, and that's for anybody $5 or above. You get access to everything, and you're going to get, what? A shout-out.
You bet.
A shout-out. So, Jimmy, I think it's time for those now. Hit me with the names of the people who would never, ever, ever leave us in what we found out to be a cistern ever in a million years. Hit me with those names.
This week's executive producers are Jordan Bennett and Melissa Turner, who drove all the way from New Hampshire to Philly to see our show this weekend. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you so much.
Her dog's a mess, so she had to bring her pup with her because the pup is she's not doing great. Or I don't know. The pup is sick. So she had to bring the pup with her to be in the hotel, and really appreciate you making that effort, Melissa.
Thank you.
What a couple of great shows. Those were fun.
Yeah, good times.
Other producers this week are Centeno Kennels in Canada, Liz Vasquez, Jake Antonioni. That's a Italian name, and onion is right in the middle. That's what I see. Peyton Meadows. What is it?
Never mind.
Antonioni.
Antonioni. Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
My Aunt Oniony. She smells like shit. I'm telling you, my Aunt Oniony. I don't like her.
Peyton Meadows is thrilled about summer. Her buns are out. Bella and Owen Beaumonk. Your dad said hello. Phil McCunt. Proud of yourself. Nicole Stacy's shingles. I hope those go away soon. Kayla Streeter, Janice Hill, Champion of the Sun. What is that, James? Do you know who that is?
That is Always Sunny.
That is the Day Man. That's who that is.
Always Sunny, bitches. Yeah.
Boyd McComish. Chuck Terry's old crusty birthday. Happy birthday, Chuck Terry. Steve Schnell, we missed him in Philly. Hey. I'm so upset about it.
Oh, shit.
I miss you the most.
Love him.
Brendan Abels, Ashley Stewart gave Kara her live show tickets and refused payment. So thank you, Ashley. That was sweet
really
of you.
Nice.
Michelle Wandy, Tammy with no last name, Jared Stemmen, Grumpy Chicken Farm, Michael Ratinsky, I think, Evan Miller, Stephen Windles, Christian Entz, Christopher Soley, Carolyn Gergel, Jesus, Rob Colino, Crystal Hilliard, Shane Fleury, Anna Marie, Brandon Samarco, Robin Long, Andrew Thompson, Scott Voles, Carrie Renswick, Priscilla Graff, Oscar Rodriguez, Angel Lozano, Me Too, Cassie with no last name, Ellen Mitchell, Athena Montgomery, Chris with no last name, Gabriella French, Katie Donahoe, Angie Doragatti, Jeremy Gamble, Caitlin McLaughlin, Faith Hook. Nope, that's Cook. Daniel Sam, Catherine Lowe Faro, Paige Snyder, Wendy Horn, Charlotte Savage, Gavin Price, Jennifer Edwards, Renee Wapsuck, Paul Winnie. She donated twice, so I imagine she needed another Patreon for somebody else. Brent Heilman.
Was the word "wops suck" in there? Was that something I heard?
Wapsock.
Wapsock.
Renee Wapsock.
Like Wapsuck. I was like, really? That's your middle name? Fuck those
I think
guineas?
It's a hyphenated last name.
I believe so.
Brent Heilman. That's not a good last name either. That's tough.
No.
Todd Wertenberger.
Casual Nazi Heil, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Heil.
Ben von Groningen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Casey with no last name. Angus C. Bell Smith. Tori Swiaki, Ainsley Harvey, Angela McCole, Jolly Tomato, Austin Painter, Alicia Larson, Tyler with no last name, Alexandria Ramaji, Pamela Harvard, Kyle Thacker, Susie Q, Michael Conway, Luke with no last name, Flappy Beaver, doubt it, CTM BR, Christina Paxton, Karen Mitchell, Kathy Mancall, Amanda Goss, Aaron Altenhoff Long, Allison Carmichael, maybe? I'm not sure. Devin Baumgartner, Lisa Ferguson, William Brakefield IV, Vincent DeBono, Marianne Dayton, Claire Muley, Dylan Sessions, Samantha Spriggs, Michael O'Brien, M. Foxhill, Hunter Comer, Jab Arts, Melissa Ward, Lakeisha January, Michael Cartinus, Justin Reed, Cindy Brown, Heather Armstrong, Joe Salerno. Is that the name of that fucking investigator? Was it Joe Salerno?
I think it was, yeah, Salerno.
I'm sure it's not the same guy.
Frank Salerno. Frank Salerno.
Maybe Joe's his kid. Carissa Nelson, Keely Folger, Stephanie O'Hara, Corey Coulter, Joe Gardner, Alan Brennan, Kathy with no last name, Grant with no last name, Ben Spicer, Michaela Brown, Joe Turechik, Romeo Chapa, Matthew Roland, Amanda Harper, Bethany King, Jazzit Kaur, Jassett. I'm never going to learn that one ever. It's not going to happen.
Probably not.
Jeremy Seaman. Oh, boy. Sassy McSassy Pants, Pamela Vongacia. Liz V, Richard French, Noel with no last name, Todd with no last name, Abigail Barbier, Kurt Marcotte, Capri, Catherine Shutt, Tyler Draper, Bill Bibbity. What is this? Blibbity, blah blah. Josh Van Gordon, Danae Andrews, Miss Slocum's pussy. Oh boy. Lexi White. I don't know what
Appreciate
that's.
that.
Amanda Helton, Emily Fredericks, and Luke Caterberg. Liz with no last name. Jason Weiland, Dylan Benitez, Nathan with no last name. Melissa Carter, Paul Bedford, Zoe Graham, Abby Hayes, Daniel Archer, Kristen Turner, Caitlin A. Ree, David Baker, Rick Wood, Eliza Skonsidersky, Courtney Bremer, Kira, and Amy Peisch, and all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody, for everything you do for us. We really do appreciate it more than you can imagine. We try to tell you, but I don't know. We're bad at expressing shit. And
I
it's
go to
thank
therapy
you. Just thank you.
To try to process the gratitude as well as my grief. And you guys are doing tremendous for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Truly.
And if you want to follow us as well on social media individually, you can do that very easily by going to shutupandgivememurder.com. There's links to it all right there. Or you can just Google search Small Town Murder Podcast hosts, and it better fucking be us that pops up. That said, thank you so much for coming and sitting through a disgusting story. Hopefully we made it palatable. And, until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.